This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A high right ankle sprain, the diagnosis for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Coach Doug Peterson did not yet completely rule him out against the Browns on Sunday. If Lawrence does not play, C.J. Beathard starts. Jags lead the AFC South by a game on Houston and Indy and are the AFC's fourth seed. Money is not the reason linebacker Shaq Leonard chose to sign with Philadelphia, not Dallas, according to Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He told 105.3 The Fan that Leonard wanted to go where he thought he had the best chance to play. Bringing in Leonard is a big positive for Philly, says ESPN NFL analyst Jeff Saturday.
He is a super intelligent football player. This guy reads and diagnoses offensive plays as well as anybody I've ever been around. His length in his arm, like the span that this guy plays with, balls over the middle, like his coverage ability, because he understands route concepts, he is going to be a big plus.
Cowboys and Eagles meet Sunday with NFC East and playoff implications at stake. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito starts versus the Packers Monday night. Jets releasing QB Tim Boyle and signing Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Boyle started New York's last two games.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Matt?
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Casey Gaines? Sounds like it's high time we got someone else to drop. Woo! I'm going to give this some thought. Musa. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. Go. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. We'll do it in the break. Get out there and make it a good one. We're glad you're with us. Shay Dixon, 1 hour from right now. Sean Salisbury coming up in hour number 3. Brian Kelly met with reporters here on Tuesday. First time Brian Kelly's met with reporters here locally since the end of the season, obviously. The bowl game announced. Jaden Daniels will be headed to the Heisman this weekend. So a lot to get to. And then, of course, all the conversation around potential staff changes, which is actually where I want to begin, because my assumption here is that that's what most of you are probably interested in right now, is when the collective football world is making a lot of staff changes, why is LSU standing pat? So I want to start there. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
So Brian Kelly met with reporters, and as you would imagine, one of the topics that came up was going to be potential staff changes. So far, it's been quiet on the home front, but there's been a lot of conversation, mostly around Matt House. Is he going to be retained? And if he is, what seemingly inevitable changes are coming? We've all talked about it. LSU allowed, in conference play this year, 33 points per game. You cannot be historically bad and maintain the status quo. You have got to change something. You cannot maintain the status quo and just assume it's going to be better. Is getting better players the most important part of that? Absolutely, no doubt. But you also, with the talent you had, there's no excuse for you being as bad as you were. So staff changes have to come. Is it Matt House? Is it other defensive staff? That's going to be something Brian Kelly's going to have to address. And he was asked about it and said he's not even quite yet to the staff evaluation part of the offseason.
Last week was really about our players. This week we're really recruiting. And then we'll get to other evaluations within the staff. Once recruiting goes dead and our coaches' responsibilities have completed, they have responsibilities and they have to finish off their responsibilities to LSU. Then we'll do evaluations of staff. And so that's another week away.
So another week away before they even get to the staff evaluations. I think there's two ways to look at this. First of all, Brian Kelly said there does make some sense that you could say, okay, well, you're in a recruiting period. Once you get to the dead period, then you can focus on staff changes because you need guys to go recruit. And you can say, well, if a guy's going to be fired, why is he out recruiting? And I get that, and that's the other part of it. Like, how are you recruiting? Well, how do you have staff out there recruiting when they can't answer the question that recruits may ask, are you going to be here next year? So it's a very valid question, and they don't have the answer to it as of yet because they haven't gone through the evaluation. So that's probably a case-by-case basis. I think, one thing that you pretty consistently hear recruits say, or one of the pitches to recruits is, don't commit to a coach. Certainly don't commit to an assistant coach. Commit to a school. I don't know how realistic that is in 2023 with NIL and everything there, but that sort of makes sense why Kelly was talking about it there. So if you wait until the recruiting dead period to have your staff evaluations, which are a week away, then ultimately you get to that point. And I will tell you, part of the scuttle also has been whether or not Brian Kelly is willing to make some of these changes. Here's what I mean. Let me elaborate a bit. Let me give you an example, which is the best way to explain this. Show you instead of tell you. A year ago, LSU was one of the worst teams in American special teams. Their special teams efficiency rating was 130th in the country. There were only 3 teams in America worse than LSU in special teams efficiency. Brian Polian was LSU's special teams coordinator. He was also the recruiting coordinator, incidentally. Well, Brian Kelly waited until February, if you remember. It wasn't right after the season. It was after signing day in late February. He reassigns Polian to an off-field role. Didn't fire him. Kept him on staff. Just moved him from an on-field role to an off-field role. And then ultimately, Brian Polian accepted a job as the AD at his alma mater. So Kelly sort of reassigned within his staff, and then that guy left. And a lot of coaches do things like that. It allows assistants to stay, as they call it, ahead of the resume. There's tons of examples of this over the years. If you remember when Gary Croton was here, he was the offensive coordinator at LSU, and then he left to be the offensive coordinator at Maryland. I got news for you, Coach. You don't leave as the OC at LSU to go be the OC at Maryland, which at the time was in the ACC. That's not a realistic. You don't do that. You don't take a lesser job. You're forced out. It's, hey, go find a job. When Bradley Del Pivito and Doug Mallory had the co-DC thing in 2008, they weren't fired. Les didn't fire him. He said, go get a job. Pivito became the head coach at Northwestern State. Mallory went out and became the DC at New Mexico or New Mexico State, one of them. So sometimes that happens. The timeline here is what's a little screwy because you'd rather it happen sooner than later. I guess the possibility remains that Matt House could be retained. But, is Brian Kelly trying to find a more palatable way to go about making these changes instead of just, ripping the Band-Aid off and hiring somebody new? Again, this is only Brian Kelly's second offseason at LSU. We're still learning him and how he's going to go about things. But Brian Kelly did address that head on, saying, he knows making these types of decisions comes with the job, and he'll stare it straight on.
I was 3 games into a season in 2016 at Notre Dame. I had to fire my defensive coordinator, and he was in my wedding. Those aren't easy decisions, okay? I'm not afraid to make those decisions, and I'm going to do what's best for LSU's football program and the pursuit of a national championship. But I'm going to do it informed. I'm going to do it for what's best for the program because it's involving players, it's involving coaches, it's involving all things as it relates to being more successful as a defense. So it's not on one person, it's collectively. And so if it was that easy, we would have been in a different place.
That one person, of course, he's talking about is Matt House. Now, the coach that he fired 3 games into the season back in 2016 was Brian Van Gorder. And Brian Van Gorder was with Brian Kelly at Central Michigan and was, if you remember, DC of the Atlanta Falcons. And that was the one miss that he had as a DC during his time at Notre Dame. And after Van Gorder, I'll remind you, Brian Kelly brought in Mike Elko, and that went very well. And then Elko left Notre Dame for A&M, became the head coach at Duke. Now he's the head coach at Texas A&M. After Elko left, it was Marcus Freeman, who's now the head coach at Notre Dame. Point being, Brian Kelly has done a really good job throughout his career of hiring defensive coordinators. We all collectively, my hands in the air, thought the Matt House hire was great. Matt House had been a really successful defensive coordinator in the SEC at Kentucky, had NFL experience at Kansas City, came very highly recommended. My goodness, Tyrann Mathieu called him one of the best coaches he'd ever been around. So it's not that Matt House can't coach defense. Maybe he's really struggling to explain what he wants conceptually to his talent. Maybe the blend of what he wants with his talent isn't good enough. There's a lot of reasons why. And I'm willing to say to Brian Kelly, okay, you're the man. You're making $100 million. You've done this for 3 decades. You've won everywhere you've been. You've hired good DCs. I trust you to get it right. But after a season like this, if you keep the status quo, then there ain't nobody left to blame but you. So I'll be patient. I'm not going to rip and rant and roar right now. But keeping the status quo is a very, very dangerous path to walk down if you're Brian Kelly. Well, I'll wait. I'll wait another week. Recruiting dead period, staff evaluations come another week. We'll see what he does. It's okay. I'll wait another week. One more. Brian Kelly was asked about continuity on staff, which clearly there has not been a lot at LSU over the last 5 years.
You're 2 years in. You've developed a culture within your program, a way to communicate, a routine, habits, things that you want your leadership to espouse on a day-to-day basis. You have to factor those in terms of making a decision. But you also have to factor in the play of your defense. And are there things that are correctable, right, under that leadership? Are there things that are not correctable? So all of that has to be considered when making those kinds of decisions.
All right. Well, we'll wait. I'll be patient. And I'll react whenever we have news. But if the news is no news, brother Brian Kelly's put himself directly in the crosshairs. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Up and Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with the great taste of Bud Light. Football season's winding down, but the holidays are here. By the way, you know what today is? It's a great day in the history of our country. Muse, do you know what today is? Any idea? It's the 90th anniversary of something.
I don't know, no.
It's the 90th anniversary of the repeal of the Volstead Act that ended prohibition.
Oh, shout out.
And allowing us to drink again.
Let's go.
You know what? Give me one of these. In honor of repealing the Volstead Act. Let's go. Cheers.
Such a good sound.
You want one?
I'm fine right now. Thank you.
Drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Cheers to the repeal of the Volstead Act. By the way, who is Volstead? Screw that guy.
An enemy of America.
Yes, yeah,
that's who
Volstead.
He was.
You jerk. You realize if Volstead had his way, we wouldn't be able to do whiskey and wine?
Oh,
what a loser.
A lot of upset people.
I'll tell you what, moron. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. Dennis Allen punishing Mike Thomas. We got a little riff internally. We got lots of riffs internally there in New Orleans. But we'll get to that. Oh, and by the way, Florida State people love me. I am their hero. I'll explain next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Renaissance Hotel and the Watermark Hotel, 2 amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge, the Watermark downtown, the Renaissance Southtown, 2 locations. And, of course, each location has a great dining option as well. The Renaissance has Tallulah right there in the lobby, and the Watermark downtown has the Gregory, 2 awesome restaurant dining options. You go downtown, remember, complimentary valet parking when you go downtown to the Gregory. So just pull up, they'll valet your car. Of course, the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet. Tallulah is a great option. They have great wine and whiskey and spirit tastings coming up. Get by their Facebook page to learn more. Evenings at the Renaissance this December and moving into the new year. If you want to check it out, they got a great event coming up with Sugarfield Spirits where you can sample a lot of different spirits and enjoy a night out on the town. It's the Renaissance Hotel right there on Bluebonnet. Of course, if you want to host your next event, they'll make it happen. Call my friend Allison Crump over at the Renaissance Hotel today. It's the Renaissance Hotel.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
I don't know, Muse.
You don't know what?
I kind of just want She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy.
Oh, Lord.
That's the only one I want.
Every break?
Yes. Well, maybe not every break, but whenever we do tractor songs.
Well, I mean,
let's
we
brand
can
it that
get
way.
to it. I mean, we can get to it.
Why are we waiting? Why would we make the people wait? It's like when you're at a concert, Muse. You come out swinging. You don't come out with the B-side of your album from 72. You come out with a banger.
Well, but I mean,
you get the people on their feet.
Normally save the best one for the encore, the final song.
Is there really a best one?
Your biggest hit, we'll say that.
What if you're a one-hit wonder? And then, you can't save it for the encore.
Well, as somebody who's seen a one-hit wonder in concert, Aqua, they sang Barbie Girl in the middle of the show.
There it is. You see? My point, Use. All right. Who is that? Let me know what
this is. Larry Fleet, Lifetime Guarantee. Really good song.
I know it sounds wonderful. Thanks. Really appreciate it a lot, Muse. Shout out to Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Shout out to all the farmers going through harvest right now. We appreciate y'all for what you do. Agriculture in our state, making the state go round. And, of course, you need that combine, that tractor, zero-turn mower. Of course, they got gators as well. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana, bringing you our Tuesday AFR all throughout the year. By the way, I am a hero. I am a hero today in Tallahassee, Florida. I mean, they love me.
Why?
Well, you might remember yesterday's show open. If you weren't here, you should go back and watch it. I think we'll have it on YouTube this afternoon. And I just teed off on the College Football Playoff Selection Committee and all that stuff about Florida State getting snubbed. Well, somebody on Twitter at Noel Gifs, GIF. You say GIF or GIF?
I say GIF.
GIF, yeah, I say GIF as well. Case, you say GIF or GIF? Casey's in for Paul today. You say GIF or GIF?
I say GIF.
GIF. Yeah, I think it's GIF. Let's go with GIF. GIF is like the peanut butter. That's with a J.
Yeah.
GIF is like a gift.
Correct.
With a G. Anyway, at Noel Gifts ripped my video from the show open, which, by the way, it feels like that's, we could go after him legally. He stole our copyrighted content.
I mean, he added you, though. He did at you. I mean, he gave you attribution.
Did it without express written consent.
Yeah, it's fair.
The show is copyrighted.
True.
He stole our content. Anyway, he tweeted the video and said, it's 7 minutes long. Watch it. The whole damn thing. At Matt Moscona is the GOAT. Well, the cool part about this is now, since this morning, it's been viewed 184,000 times just from Noel Gift's Twitter. There's 2,300 likes, 1,000 retweets, more than 100 comments. It's been bookmarked almost 400 times. And when you look through some of the comments, Muse, I mean, they love me in Tallahassee. One person called me an honorary Noel.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
All right.
Janet FSU said, I didn't know who you were at Matt Moscona before today, but OMG, you were saying everything people here are thinking, and thank you. You come with facts, not opinions. Why do Florida State people get me, Muse, and LSU fans don't? Like this guy, LSU Uni Tracker, went into the comments and said, LSU fans hate him, but he spit some facts here and there.
What a juxtaposition that is right there, huh?
Well, that's just a nerd. I mean, that's one of those guys that, look, he's got a Twitter that's LSU Uni Tracker. Oh, he wants information. I mean, he wants affirmation, not information. He just doesn't like that I'm not an unapologetic homer. He's a loser who's committed his life to having a Twitter account as a nameless, faceless person following uniforms. I mean, God bless. I'm sure you're a great person, but let's get real. You're not exactly the person I'm concerning myself with every single day. FSU Tony got a new follow, dude. Makes more sense than the SM wearing white tight T-shirt guy.
What?
Oh, small, medium wearing what?
A schmedium. A schmedium. Who's he talking about, though?
That's got to be Josh Pate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy's probably not Pate State material then.
Finish for JT13. Go off, King. With a fist bump emoji
well,
at me. They love me. I mean,
I'm you got to go off, King.
I'm not even, bro.
Look at that.
I'm not even cherry picking. I'm just reading them all here. Anyway. But you know what? Look, the Chris D. At Matt Moscona changed my mind on this. I thought Bama was deserving until I watched this. It reminded me all those hours of practice, meetings, classes, emotions, time, effort it takes from all those kids to go undefeated. Literal blood, sweat, and tears, all for nothing now.
He's not a Florida State fan.
No. They love me.
There's no way any Florida State fan was okay with that.
Matt Spurk, you've gained a lot of respect from the Noel. Just the one Noel. From the Noel.
Singular.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. They love me.
That's good to hear.
Preach on, my man. Truth and more truth here.
I like the guy who told you go off, King.
I do
that's
too.
That's
I like
really
when people
good.
call me King.
That's so good.
I like when people call me King.
Go off, King.
And a fist bump
Good
emoji in there
Lord.
too. Had that in there. So good. At Matt Moscona doing the Lord's work. Rosemary Brown Lewis. I like him.
That's a good name.
She just put I like him with a few heart emojis of football and the spear. Parker Miles, Noel fan here. Best take I've seen on this debacle. Somehow you made me feel like I can move on now. Thanks, Matt. They love me. Muse, I am Florida State's Twitter king today.
You are.
How about that?
You think they're listening today?
I am Noel Twitter's king.
Like, are our numbers higher than normal right now? Do we have a bunch of Noel fans?
Let me see.
Tuning
I hope
in?
so.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
let's add there.
It makes sense.
Let's see. No. Actually, no.
Okay.
Not more than usual. But they love me. And so now you know what I had to do then. I had to go quote tweet our friend Noel Giff. Noel Gifts. Yeah. And I pointed out FSU Twitter loves me today. We've come full circle this season. But I'd still take Neighbors and Thomas over Coleman, Wilson any day of the week with a week to go. For those that forgot, I was the guy who, before the season opener, said that I don't know that offensively if there was a position where I would take Florida State's talent over LSU's. I liked LSU's offensive line, quarterback, the running backs, receivers. And I said, I believe the way I said it was Florida State's receivers, none of Florida State's receivers would start at LSU. And, of course, Keon Coleman went off that day, had 3 touchdowns, was awesome. He's objectively an awesome receiver. But Malik Neighbors leads the nation in receiving yards, and Brian Thomas leads the nation in receiving touchdowns. So, yes, I would still take Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas over Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson any day of the week. But see, we've come full circle. From the season opener, Muse, where they just hate. I got freezing cold taked.
You did.
Freezing cold take guy. Hit me on that one. What's it called?
At Old Takes Exposed.
Old Takes Exposed.
Yes,
I got freezing. I got Old Takes Exposed on that one. I'd like to go back at him now and be like, what now?
Yeah.
Look at my guys. Who you taking?
4 months.
Who you taking?
What a difference.
Who you taking? Who you taking?
Oh, Neighbors. Neighbors and Thomas. Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
If you can change, and I can change, we all can change. That's from Rocky IV. You should know it. You love Rocky IV. Such an awful movie, that Rocky IV. Really bad movie. Terrible piece of cinema. Things a hunk of crap. Stopped selling my store months ago. We're brought to you by Traction. TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. But see, they love me, Muse. Hey, Muse, from now on, you have to call me King. You have to say, go off, King.
Yeah, actually, I don't think that I have to do that.
That's in your contract.
I'm not a Florida State fan.
It's in the Geneva Convention.
It's in the...
The Traction Christmas Speed Camp is coming up December 27th through the 29th, 9 until noon. Sprint mechanics, acceleration training, power development, strength training for speed, conditioning, ages 8 and older. Go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com to register your son or daughter today. Go to TractionSports.com. So much great stuff going on over at Traction. TractionSports.com. Remember, they got the softball pitching clinic as well, with 3 more clinics still to come. And Wednesday to Friday, December 27th, 29th, is the Traction Christmas Speed Camp. Again, 9 until noon. So your kiddo's going to be off on Christmas break. You could need somewhere for them to go. Traction. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. Okay. It's after further review. Real quick, I want to dive into this. So, if you were watching the Saints on Sunday and happened to be doing the second screen thing and you had Twitter open, you probably noticed this. Michael Thomas, who's injured and not playing, after the first play where Derek Carr threw the ball for Juwan Johnson, it was deflected off of Juwan Johnson, was intercepted, and in a blink, the Saints were down 14-0. Thomas tweeted AT wide open, meaning A.T. Perry. A.T. Perry was wide open on the play and didn't see him. I think everybody else saw it, but Derek Carr didn't see him. So that was one piece of criticism that Michael Thomas levied there on Twitter. A little while later, Michael Thomas tweeted, "When your eyes don't work, you get people hurt. It's no mystery, and it's something that needs to be studied." Again, another shot at Derek Carr. And then a bit later, after Jameis Winston threw that ball that got double tipped and caught, Michael Thomas tweeted, "God is with Jameis," which actually may be true, right? I mean, let's be very clear. That probably is factual. And then a short time later, Michael Thomas deleted his account. So, Dennis Allen met with reporters on Monday, and he was asked about Michael Thomas's tweets. Here's what DA had to say.
Yeah, we'll keep that in house, but I guess I was made aware of that last night. So,
you know why Michael Thomas was willing to live tweet criticism during the game? Because he didn't fear retribution. Right? When your parents left to go on a date when you were a kid, the babysitter came over. And all right, let me just speak for me. Let me not put this in a hypothetical. When my parents would go out and they'd get a babysitter, my brother and I, who were 16 months apart, decided to literally fight and spit on each other and chase each other around the yard. Why did we do that? Because we didn't fear the babysitter. Dennis Allen is the babysitter. Do you remember when Jimmy Graham was going through his whole contract kerfuffle? So Jimmy Graham, All-Pro in 2011 and 2013, a 5-time Pro Bowler. In 2012, when the NFL Top 100 was released, Jimmy Graham was number 14 on the list. Let that marinate for a minute. The players in the NFL voted Jimmy Graham in 2012 the 14th best player in the entire NFL. When he went through his contract kerfuffle with New Orleans because he wanted to be franchised as a receiver, not a tight end, they traded him. Didn't matter who you were. Saints used a first-round pick on Brandon Cooks in 2014. In 2015, he led the Saints in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Brandon Cooks, incidentally, went to Twitter with a message that closed mouths don't get fed. They traded him to New England. Kenny Stills. Saints got a steal in the draft with Kenny Stills. The 5th-round pick. Was a locker room problem. Traded him. Junior Gillette, undrafted free agent, double-digit sack guy. Great story. July of 2014, the Saints lay a 4-year, $41.5 million contract on Junior Gillette. 1 year later, July of 2015, they released him. Players respected Sean Payton. There was an alpha. Everyone knew it. And if you stepped out of line, it didn't matter who you were gone. Because they valued culture above everything else. Nobody respects Dennis Allen. He's not going to do anything about it. And so this type of dissension is going to continue happening for as long as Dennis Allen is the coach. It's not new. You've heard me say this before. Lieutenant, not a general. He's a substitute teacher. All those things, they're still true. You just keep seeing more and more examples of that come to light with every passing day. Okay. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. Oh, did you see the Pels last night, Muse? Did you see them?
Oh, I saw them.
I don't believe you.
I did. I watched second half after Monday Night Football.
You know what that means, though. Pels win. You know what that means?
I know what it means.
It means we got Graph coming up. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers. Nicholson Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, or delivery with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice, cold, draft beer, full-service bar. Sports on TV tonight and every Tuesday. Sports trivia over at Pluckers. That's the Nicholson location. Okay, so every Tuesday, sports trivia, Pluckers on Nicholson. Our guy Hunt Palmer hosts. So it's 5 rounds, live-action trivia. Get your team together. Go test your knowledge. Win Pluckers gift cards. Spin the prize wheel. My goodness gracious. What a night to go to Pluckers. I don't know why. Just because it's a Tuesday. And there's going to be sports on TV. Kids eat free. Sports trivia at Pluckers every Tuesday at the Nicholson location. I mean, why would you do anything else? You want to have a fun night out with the family that's affordable? Go to Pluckers. Parents buy the entree. Kids eat free. That's every Tuesday at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine in, carry out, or delivery. It's Pluckers. And remember at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Yeah!
There you go. Now, hey.
Farmers. I know that farmer.
That's no. Who sings this, Matt? Who's this?
It's Kenny Chesney.
Hey-o!
Got him. Hey, you can teach an old dog new tricks.
There you go.
You can do it. I think because he's the little guy who used to hang out with Sean Payton at Saints games.
Yeah, big Sean Payton guy.
Also a big Tennessee guy.
Big Tennessee guy.
I'm aware. Like, I do know celebs based on their sports fandom. It happens. You think when Kenny Chesney's driving that tractor, what kind of tractor do you think that is?
John Deere.
What color you think that tractor is?
Green.
The only way to do it if you're going to get a tractor. Better be a deer. Better be a deer. Leaving the neighborhood this morning. One of the guys that works on the golf course driving a John Deere Gator. Saw him this morning. Hit it, yes, hit it! It really turns her on. She might down me, got it, Muse. Is this the refrain again? Oh, hit me with it. Let's go. I don't remember this. Crazy about a farm. I said her farmer's name. She's been alone to miss me.
Almost.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. Nailed it. Nailed it. Okay. We'll come back to that again next segment, Muse.
Okay.
We'll do it again next segment. We'll go around the SEC. I'm in a great mood. You want to know one of the reasons I'm in a great mood? Muse?
Why is that?
Well, in case you missed it last night, the Pellies won, which means give me the grab!
Left corner Barnes for three. No, weak side rebound Najee. Start singing, baby. Viva Las Vegas. We are coming. Yeah! The New Orleans Pelicans have come into Sacramento and won the in-season tournament quarterfinal.
Yeah, we did. Hey, Muse.
Hey, Matt.
I need you to explain to me what the in-season tournament quarterfinal is. I don't have a clue, but if it means Graf is going to Vegas, I'm fired up for it.
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
What is this, Muse?
We
beat the Kings.
They did. They beat the Kings.
Put it on them.
Yep,
By the way, mad respect. I think it was the Pelicans' Twitter that had the Hangover poster with the faces superimposed from Pelicans players from the guys in the Hangover.
Good. That's good. I didn't see that. That's good.
It was fantastic. Even the baby. I think Trey Murphy was the baby. What do they call the baby?
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah,
Yes.
Carlos.
Trey Murphy's Carlos.
I love that. Anyway, so it's a tournament that they're playing in season.
Got it. Yeah, I heard of it.
They had group stages.
Oh, group stages.
Now
like
they're
in soccer.
Yes, now they're into the knockouts.
So
you win
like
the
soccer.
group stage, you go to the knockout stage, which is the quarterfinals. If you got through that, like the Pelicans did, you go to Las Vegas for the semifinals and the finals.
Because
the Pelicans are going to win.
It was Larry Nance who did it. Larry Nance did it from his own Twitter.
Of course it was Larry Nance.
Check it out, Muse. Check it out.
So
Check it out.
good.
Check it out. Pull it up, Casey. Pull it up. Pull it up. Oh, we got B.I. as Allen. Look how good that
good.
is.
No CJ.
Man. We got Jonas. We got Zion. We got B.I. and Trey.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Hey!
Yeah.
Give me more grab!
Goes right block. Now the double. Ingram is caught. Get it to Herb in the lane. Kick it to Trey. Left wing three. Got it. Nothing but net for Kenneth Murphy III. He kept shooting.
He called him Kenneth Murphy.
I love the full name or the real name. It's just the legal name, I guess I should say.
Man.
So good every time.
Oh, my goodness. Graf is literally listening right now, because of course he is.
Yeah, you're right.
He sent me a text. Graf in Vegas, walking the strip. You're a lunchtime show here. It's literally a picture of Graf walking the strip in Las Vegas.
Our guy didn't waste any time. The game's not till Thursday.
Well, they were in Sacramento.
I mean,
Went
I'm just
straight
saying,
there.
look.
So what you gonna do? You gonna fly all the way home
Why
and to go
not?
back? You're not gonna fly home from Sacramento just to turn around and go back the next day.
Yes,
The
that's fair.
tables are hot and the slots are generous, Muse.
Yeah.
Graf's in town. Get ready to go. Hey, give me Graf.
Inbound to Ingram. Get it to Herb. Got to cross the timeline. Herb, bumped by Fox, does cross it. Drives in. And he dunks it! Oh, my heavens! Right over Fox! 2 hands! Poster! Herb, coast to coast!
Why do I love him so much?
Because he's the best.
He's so stupid. So good.
It's awesome.
Muse, are we good in basketball?
Yeah, dude.
Are we good?
They look pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, it's kind of amazing, right? Your players that were hurt, now they're getting healthy
back.
and they come back.
Yeah.
You get Jose back
Hey,
last night. It's like,
hit a big three to take the
look
the
good.
first lead last
it's
night,
like,
Jose.
oh, look,
Yeah.
having your players helps, Muse.
Matters a little bit, doesn't it?
Trey back?
The Trey back? CJ?
CJ's back. Collapsed lung?
Yeah.
I mean, Zion isn't hurt yet?
Zion? Oh, quite the yet. I get it. It's
Playing the
fair.
odds.
It's
I'm
fair.
playing the
It's fair.
odds. Playing
It's
the
fair.
odds.
Fair.
We got any more?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, well, guess what? You waiting on? Give me Graf.
Oh, he missed the free throw. Rebound, Herb! And he threw it up and in with a left hand at the buzzer.
Yeah, he did.
No way! That is a 4-point play.
You know who loves this segment the most?
Who's that?
Pester, because we're playing Elvis.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
This is an OTB set. We got Elvis and we got the Pelicans. I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, you want to go? Let's go do shows in Vegas.
All right.
For the play-in tournament.
Hey, why not? I mean, you'd be there for next year USC game anyway. You could scope it out, find a spot that works.
It's a scouting trip.
Scouting trip.
That's what it is. Pellies win 127-117 over Sacramento. Heading to the semis. So tonight it's Lakers Suns. And they'll play the winner of Lakers Suns in Vegas. 2 wins away from hanging a banner, Muse.
How about that?
2 wins away.
Yeah, you're right!
So ridiculous. You know that every game now he screams, "Yeah, you're right," just because of this show.
Well, yeah.
And I think it was an AFR listener who maybe said, "Is that how that happened?"
I thought it was you because your dad used to say it all the time.
"Give me a yeah, you're right."
Yeah, I thought that's how that happened. Maybe not. Maybe it was a listener. I don't know.
I do a lot.
It was a long time ago.
And I talk a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't remember everything I say. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. Sign the Drive is still going on over at South Point Volkswagen. 0 down, 0 due at signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Remember, all you do is sign your name with little else. You're driving away in a brand new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. They are Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. And remember, for our friends in Lafayette, Southwest Volkswagen as well. But, of course, you can always get by and see your friends at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we got to go real quickly here. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Missouri Tigers.
Hey, congrats to Cody Schrader. Running back has won the Burlsworth Trophy, given the nation's best player who started his Division I career as a walk-on. Schrader walked on 2 years ago after transferring Division II Truman State. He leads Division I with 124.9 rushing yards per game. Pretty incredible. He's rushed for over 1,600 yards and 13 touchdowns. Missouri, of course, 10-2, and they're in the New Year 6. So congrats to Cody Schrader. Much deserved.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
LSU fans will remember this name. Four-star JUCO wide receiver Deion Smith is committed to Ole Miss. Remember, Deion Smith was the number one player in the state of Mississippi in the class of 2021, came to LSU, never qualified with the JUCO route, and now he's headed to Oxford. And that's a problem because he's a really, really talented player. He chose the Rebs over Mississippi State, Auburn, Utah, and Purdue, the top-ranked JUCO prospect in the country per On 3. And a couple of basketball notes. Arkansas. No hangover from the Duke win. They beat Furman 97-83. Bama routed Arkansas State 89-65. And tonight, 4 games. Number 17, Tennessee, they're at home against George Mason. Florida hosts Merrimack.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a. I think that's a college, right? In Merrimack College.
Merrimack. What is Merrimack's mascot, Muse? Early trivia question.
I don't know. Hawk.
Muse missing trivia questions. Par for the course here
What is
on
it?
this show. The Warriors, the Merrimack. How did you not know that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
The Merrimack. Of course, it makes sense. Georgia hosts Georgia Tech, and Ole Miss hosts Mount St. Mary's on the hardwood tonight. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them. GCOPnet.com. GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's where you get them, or that's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, the Raging Cajuns, and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. All right, y'all. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll wrap up hour number 1. The NCAA is proposing a pay structure for student athletes. I'll tell you why it won't work. That's next, AFR.
AFR.
Right about Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Okay, 2 things. Number 1, last Friday, awful weather throughout the air, like severe weather, tornado warnings and all that sort of stuff. If you had roof damage as a result of that weather, or think you might, maybe you had all the bad weather come through and you started to notice water spots on your ceiling on your wall, we can help. Hudco will come help you with a free, no-obligation roofing inspections. Go to HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. Fill out the form right there on the homepage, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Also, not only residential, but commercial roofing as well. If you have a commercial building, flat or metal roof, Hudco Roofing can help you with a silicone coating product. It's easy. Half the cost of a roof replacement with a 20-year warranty. It's Hudco Roofing. Do business with someone you know. That's us. That's Hudco Roofing. And online at HudcoRoofing.com.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done, or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service, or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
After further review powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Muse, like, don't overplay it.
You asked for it again.
No, it didn't.
Yes, you did. Check the tape.
I was being facetious. Wait, crank it, Muse. While we're here, we might as well.
She thinks my tractor's
sexy. Shout out to our friends over at Sunshine with all those sexy tractors. Sunnyquip.com, sunnyquip.com. NCAA President Charlie Baker proposed rule changes that would allow Division I schools for the first time to pay their athletes that are not tied to educational resources. I'll oversimplify it. Essentially, new model would require schools that opted in. Any school could opt in. And obviously the only ones that would be the top schools in the country, would have to set aside at least $30,000 per athlete every year for at least half of their athletes in an enhanced educational trust fund. You got to keep in mind that because of Title IX, you would have to spend the same on men as you would for women. And this is not a Title IX conversation. I'm not trying to get into that. I'm just talking about the plausibility of what is being proposed. Let's do some math. I don't like numbers. You all know that, but this is easy math. Minimum $30,000 per athlete. Let's say a school has approximately, let's use round numbers, 400 scholarship athletes. You got 85 in football, 13 in men's basketball, 11.7 in baseball. These are just the men's sports, right? So let's say approximately 400 student athletes. 400 student athletes at $30,000 a year minimum is $12 million. Now, in 2022, let's use LSU. LSU generated just shy of $200 million in revenue. And to that, you're going to say, well, Matt, $200 million, earmark $12 million of it for the athletes. Sure, you could do that. But LSU had a surplus of $6.54 million, which means all but $6.5 million of the $199 was accounted for. So, you want to cut budget? Fine, cut budget. Don't build new facilities. Don't pay great coaches. Don't have a lengthy recruiting budget. When you travel, don't fly private. Don't stay in nice hotels. Okay, see how far that gets you. The only solution to do this, there is one. There is one solution only. It is to cut every other sport than football and men's basketball. Your 2 revenue generators. That's it. You keep football and men's basketball. You have 98 scholarships, right? 85 for football, 13 for men's basketball. That's 98. And then have 98 scholarships on the women's side, and that's all you have. That's it. That is the only way you could possibly do this, because you would cut the expenses associated with the other programs that lose money. That's it. That's the only way this is possible. So ask yourself that. Do you want to cut all the other sports? The answer is no, it's not going to happen. So this is not realistic, which is why I've always been so bullish on NIL. It's not feasible for the schools to pay student athletes because of Title IX. So let them make their money however they can. Account it however you want. But legitimizing it through NIL is the only way to get student athletes paid. Keep doing it. All right, SportsCenter and Shay Dixon. We'll talk some Cruton with our guy Shady when we come back right after the break. Glad you're here. It's a Tuesday edition of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. If you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020. 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com. Y'all, Christmas is almost here. It's the holiday time. A lot of people are thinking about gifts, and you know what? You're probably going to get a lot of stuff that you don't want, don't need. How about something that you use every day, all day? Your eyesight. The Williamson Eye Center can help. So many different refractive options. So no matter your age or your refractive issue, they can help. Maybe you're nearsighted, maybe you're farsighted, maybe you're young, maybe you're old. The Williamson Eye Center can help. Maybe you had LASIK years ago. PRK could be an option for you now. Maybe you're worried about LASIK. Evo ICL, the implantable contact lens, that's an alternative to LASIK. Ask about it at the Williamson Eye Center. They have the lens replacement. It's the Williamson Eye Center. You want to wake up in the morning and just be able to see? The Williamson Eye Center can help. They've been doing that for more than 70 years. Call 924-2020 or go to williamsoneye.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50. And you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all, you'll find luxury that lets you feel infinitely you. Visit your local Infiniti retailer today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. An update on Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence today from coach Doug Peterson. High right ankle sprain, but he did escape further damage last night. If Lawrence can't play Sunday, C.J. Beathard starts against the Browns. Jacksonville currently 4th in the AFC, up a game on the Texans and Colts in the AFC South. ESPN NFL insider Dan Graziano.
If Trevor Lawrence is out or limited, I think that puts them in a bad position with regard to their next two games, which are against the Browns and the Ravens. Two incredibly tough defenses and two AFC playoff contenders that are obviously playing for something. So I think they're in some trouble.
Dan Graziano on Carlin versus Joe. Cleveland is the 6th seed in the AFC, and along with the Steelers, 2 back of AFC North leading Baltimore. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito will start against the Packers Monday night. Jets released quarterback Tim Boyle and signed Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts acknowledged his team met a couple of days ago with two-way star Shohei Ohtani, added clearly Shohei is their top priority.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, powered by Sunshine. Your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Casey Gaines. All right, what is Casey's drop going to be? Text me on the show text line, and we'll decide by next hour. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Sean Salisbury next hour. Really enjoyed this, making it a habit every Tuesday here at the top of Hour 2, visiting with our buddy Shay Dixon of On 3, the Bengal Tiger, talk some recruiting. And what a time it is to be talking right now as Brian Kelly and his squad are out, the staff are out recruiting right now, trying to get the portal, recruiting board all in order and heading toward that early signing period. Shay's with us now. We appreciate it, Shay. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
Doing very well. I want to start, let me go backwards then to catch up. Gabriel Relaford, big defensive lineman out of Evangel, had been committed to Texas A&M, decommitted, took his official to LSU this weekend, and then obviously decommitted. What's the latest there?
The latest, I think, to sum it up shortly without me making people wait on my long-winded answer, would be that LSU could be on the verge on Friday, or should be on the verge Friday, to receiving a commitment from a top 5 player in Louisiana. And in my opinion, the best D lineman in the state. And early on, it was identified, it was clear that LSU needed D linemen this cycle. And when Relaford committed to A&M, and he had a great junior season at Evangel, LSU offered in July, but he had already been committed at that point. So it was about having to flip him. And they got him in for games this year. And I just always said, look, this is going to come down to December, an official visit, in-home visits, when they make those final pitches to why he should be a Tiger. And kind of unbeknownst to me over the summer and kind of into the fall, that they would fire Jimbo Fisher, and then that would lead to defensive line coach Elijah Robinson not being part of the staff anymore. He took the DC job at Syracuse. He was the primary recruiter on Gabe Relaford. So after this visit this weekend and all that shook out kind of simultaneously, actually, coincidentally, but fortunately for LSU on Sunday, and he announces his decommitment and at the same time says, hey, look, I'm ready to announce a final decision. You can put the pieces together. He does that coming off of a 3-day stay at LSU with his entire family. And I go back to when I first talked to Gabe when he got the LSU offer and he was committed to A&M and said, look, this is a dream offer for me. LSU's been my dream school. So I think that they had to put in the work here, but obviously their recruiting efforts appear to be on the verge of paying off and locking up another top 5 player in Louisiana, and maybe more importantly, a player at a position of real need, which is the defensive line.
So, Shea, Relaford's one guy, obviously. We've seen a mass exodus at A&M. I mean, Walter Nolan's probably the biggest name there. I mean, there's players with other, aside from Relaford now, who's a commitment, but other players there at A&M who've decommitted that have ties to Louisiana. Is there more possibility of adding guys from A&M as everyone's jumping ship in College Station?
I mean, I think the number one guy I'm watching immediately is Jordan Gilbert. He entered the portal officially today and already announced his intention to enter the portal, but he was a guy at U-High that was a really good player. They offered, they just didn't really press for him a few years back, the old staff, I should say, and he ends up at A&M, and he was a starter for A&M, and he started this year until he got hurt, and that's when Jacoby Matthews moved in, another Louisiana guy, and became the starter at safety. So I know LSU's high on Jordan Gilbert, and the fact that he's now in the portal has my full attention. I think he would be the next guy that you would point to and say, hey, look, there's a guy from A&M, from Louisiana, that is officially in the portal, that's at a position of need, which is safety. I mean, look at it. You don't have Andre Sam. I know Major Burns walked on senior day, but he's got another year of eligibility last year. He felt like taking it. You could be looking at having to replace both starting safeties, obviously. And even prior to this, obviously, Greg Brooks was a starting safety. So that kind of core group of guys were the guys you leaned on the past 2 years. Now you've got to figure out, okay, are we trusting inexperienced guys there, not starters like Ryan Yates or, Jordan Allen or Dinu Toviano back there? Or do you go out in the portal and say, hey, let's grab at least one guy who we know can come in and start? And I think Jordan Gilbert fits that bill.
Shea Dixon's with us, by the way, on 3 the Bengal Tiger on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Brian Kelly spoke on Tuesday morning and said the staff is out recruiting right now and said staff change decisions will be made when the dead period comes. Can you walk us through what that approach is? Meaning, how do coaches who might not be back next year go recruit and answer the question that kids may ask of, hey, are you going to be here?
Look, I guess they get paid a lot of money to just keep doing your job until the job's no longer yours. And, those conversations, I guess, would be ongoing. But I'll give you an example. And I have no idea who that defensive coordinator next year is going to be. But tomorrow, Devon Keys, one of their top linebacker commits, and we've got an article up on the Bengal Tiger right now about it, and about kind of his entire recruitment. But he said, hey, tomorrow night, my mom and dad are getting ready. We're cleaning up the house and having dinner and eat with Brian Kelly and Matt House. So those guys are out there. They are recruiting. They're doing their job until Brian Kelly decides what is the next step. And he laid it out. I thought he had a great press conference today in terms of just being honest about it all, where he said, look, here's what we're doing right now. It's finish out signing day. We're looking at the portal. We're having to hit the road to recruit. Whenever the dead period arrives, we now know, okay, we're signing these guys, signing day's done. I can then fully evaluate the staff and make the changes that I deem necessary. And he used an old example, Matt, but he said Brian Van Gorder, who was his only miss at Notre Dame. I mean, he hired Clark Lee, Mike Elko, Marcus Freeman. These guys, Bob Diaco, he brought with him from Cincinnati, a Burroughs Award finalist. All those guys went on to become head coaches. So the miss was Van Gorder, and he said, look, I fired someone 3 games into a season once at DC, and he stood in my wedding. He said, I understand that these aren't easy decisions, but I'm willing to make them. And I think even more, look, that was 12 years ago or whatever. At this point, Brian Kelly knows I have to win. Like, this is it. This is the final stop. And I think he could have used a more recent example. I mean, letting go of Polian, who was the only person he brought with him from Notre Dame and a close friend, because special teams cost them games last year, Matt. That just is what it is. And the reality was Brian Kelly assessed it and said, we're going in a different direction. And that was someone he'd been close to for a very long time. So I think even loyalty, and he had not worked with any of these guys before, but even loyalty, throw all that out the window. I think I would trust a guy who's been a head coach 30-plus years to assess what's going wrong and move forward with whatever plan of action he has. But as far as what those current coaches, when they're in home and talking to recruits, is kind of just, hey, I'm here. I'm the coach right now until I'm informed differently.
No, it's a good point, Shay. And you're speaking of Polian, I mean, that change didn't even come until the end of February. So they waited till after the February signing day before that all those chess pieces were moved. So we'll buckle up and wait on what Brian Kelly may do. Shay Dixon is with us from On 3, the Bengal Tiger. Shay, there's so many reports out there about portal targets for LSU. And I think it's also hard to make sense of what's real, what's fake. So when you look at the portal targets specifically, are there positions or players that you know that LSU at this point is targeting?
Yes. A corner is something that they would like, obviously. Safety, and I've mentioned Jordan Gilbert is a guy that they would love to add now that he's officially in the portal. Receiver, and in my mind, obviously, this is me speaking, that Malik and Brian Thomas are going to go pro, but that I think they'll get Kyron Lacey to come back. And some people out there will say, well, where would he go? You know, never get drafted. He would get drafted. I don't care if he had some drops this year. He also had some amazing touchdowns. He can jump out the gym. He can test, and he can continue to get better. We saw him get better from last year to this year. So, and he's made a big jump from where he was at UL. So I'd look at him as a guy where you say, all right, he's back as your number 1 or 2 receiver, add a portal guy, and maybe 2, but probably just 1 portal guy at receiver. We'll see. Right. If they find the right fit at 2, then go for it. But I think that's a position we're watching. Defensive line, I think if a really good player entered, you'd obviously take a hard look at it. But again, can Mason Smith come back? Can Mekhi Wingo come back? You're pretty deep at D end. You've got some good jacks. You want to get guys like Womack on the field. So maybe a D lineman. And really, I look at quarterback and say, and it's something Brian Kelly talked about extensively today. He said, look, we'll look, but we're going to keep everyone informed, whether that's Garrett Nussmeier or Ricky Collins or your recruits. Everybody will know kind of what the plan of action is. And for me, Matt, is something you've already talked about. I watched your show the other day where you broke it down, that call it an insurance policy, swing for the fences and bring someone in. If you think that you want someone to compete with Nussmeier to win the job, well, it doesn't matter to me. I've seen 2 transfer quarterbacks come in here and compete and win Heisman. So whatever route it is, I think that Brian Kelly said, hey, look, we're looking at it, and I don't know if it will be just a backup or if it will be someone who could honestly compete with Nuss or, but whatever it is, I think that this staff clearly knows, hey, we can't fully go into next year without at least looking around at options to give us some sort of backup plan to where if Nuss heads to the injury tent, you're not trotting out Ricky Collins, who's played 1 game ever and thrown 2 passes against Grambling. I just don't think that's where they would want to find themselves at. So I'd monitor it. I've not heard anything at quarterback yet. They're probably going to be pretty mum on it. But for me, those are some of the positions. But I would start with the defense has to get better. So you need a corner, need some safeties, and probably need another D lineman.
Shay, walk me through the calendar here as coaches are on the road recruiting this week, and we've got the December signing period coming up. All this while the portal's open as well. Walk me through this right now.
So they'll have 2 more weeks on the road to recruit, and then you'll run into, that'll be in-home visits, that'll be weekend official visits, mostly all commits. I mean, beyond Relaford, Dominic McKinley over to Acadiana, the D lineman, who's still committed to A&M, are kind of their top remaining targets at the high school level. And obviously you'll bring in some transfer portal guys to meet them and visit with them then. So all that happens in these next couple of weeks of what's called, Matt, a contact period. So you can also leave campus. These guys, the coaches are on the road. They can go in-home with kids. That's a very small window that only happens a couple of times a year. And that will run December 1st to the 16th. Then on the 17th, goes back to quiet. That means you can only have kids in person on campus. And then the 18th is the dead period. So that rolls up right to where they're a couple of days later. That's Sunday night or Monday and 2 days later, the 20th, is when the early signing period begins. And that's for high school guys. Portal guys can obviously commit and then sign whatever letter of grant of aid or whatever they do to transfer at any point. But high schoolers, that's kind of the calendar here until Christmas time is the 20th to the 22nd will be signing day.
Is Dominic McKinley a realistic possibility for this staff?
I mean, I think realistic in the sense that Elijah Robinson's not the D-line coach anymore, and there's been staff shakeup, and does he really still feel like that's the fit for him, or does he go elsewhere? I also will note Texas has had buzz, and then I'll say, look, Relaford called LSU his dream school, like in interviews. He made visits. We haven't seen Don McKinley do any of that this season. He's been pretty quiet about things and just playing out Acadiana High season. So for me, Matt, I'd say if they get him on an official visit these next 2 weekends, then yes, I would consider it a real possibility. If he doesn't even come in and visit, I'd be a little surprised if he'd sign with LSU suddenly on signing day.
All right. He's Shea Dixon on 3 the Bengal Tiger, on Twitter at Shea Dixon. Shea, man, it never really sleeps. And I know December is a really busy time with the coaches on the road recruiting, as you just mentioned, and then the December signing period coming up here in a couple of weeks. We appreciate you keeping us informed, man. We'll look forward to doing it again soon. Thanks.
Anytime. Thanks, Matt.
I meant be well. That's Shea Dixon, just the absolute best. You'll follow Shea on Twitter at Shea Dixon. That's nobody better. All right, we'll knock out a quick break. Come back. Lee will be with us. We'll talk some beer. Lee told me he's got 3 beers that he's got to do today. Hey, man. Pop them tops. It's the holiday season, Hughes. Drink you some beers.
It's the 90-year anniversary of the end of Prohibition, as we learned earlier.
It's the got your what we learned.
There you go.
Thank you for paying attention, Muse.
Yeah.
Good. Well, it's 4:16, so that attention span's probably about to get a little shorter there, huh, Muse?
The attention span will be fine.
Today is the 90th anniversary of the repeal of the Volstead Act.
There it is.
Which ended the prohibition and allowing us to imbibe once again. I'm telling you.
Cheers.
Whoever that Volstead guy is, bleep him. Am I right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, boo that man.
Yeah.
Why did he ever decide that was a good idea?
Nice.
Who's Volstead?
We can look it up.
All right, when I talk to Lee, you look up who Volstead was.
All right.
I want a book report by the end of the show.
No, but I'll look him up.
I want an answer.
There we go.
There we go. All right. It's after further review. Lee will talk about Volstead next.
AFR.
Volstead and volleyball. Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, Injury Attorneys. Okay, Thursday's the last day, y'all. Thursday is the last day for the Baton Rouge and Hammond areas to enter the Gordon Gives bike giveaway. Every year around Christmas time, Gordon gives away more than 400 bicycles to children all across the state of Louisiana, kiddos who are less fortunate. It's sort of a remembrance of Gordon's favorite Christmas memory, getting a red Schwinn bicycle on Christmas morning. And so this is a way for him to pay it forward to kiddos all over the state of Louisiana. If you have a son or daughter or know of a kiddo who would love a bicycle this Christmas and maybe family just can't make it happen, let Gordon help. Go to GordonGives.com. That's GordonGives.com. Fill out the entry form right there on the homepage, and they'll get started on it. It's GordonGives.com. We say all the time, of course, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. You need representation. You need the best. You need Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Go to GordonGives.com to learn more. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right. On the day that we repeal the Volkanovsky?
Volstead Act.
The Volleyball Act?
Volstead Act.
Got it. That's the that ended prohibition 90 years ago today. We're all drinking to that. Lee Feinswag's with us. How are you, Lee?
Well, I'll drink to that.
Happy Volstead Act repeal day.
There you go. Could you imagine a time where they'll look back years ago and go, wait, not only was there that, but they didn't have marijuana legal? Come on.
Muse hates that thought. Hates the thought of that. Look at him staring me down right now. It's 4:22, Muse. Go enjoy yourself. Knock yourself out there, buddy. Hey, Lee, what do you think, man? ReliaQuest Bowl for LSU against Wisconsin, and there you are wearing your Wisconsin shirt, you jerk.
Wisconsin, get ready, boys. Volleyball shirt. The number 3 seed in the NCAA volleyball tournament, which is down to the round of 16. I know you're dying to know. All the matches Thursday. A lot of them are on ESPNU and ESPN2. You can watch all day Thursday.
Yeah. I'm not going to do that, but I'm
so
sure
let me
you
ask
will.
you. Let me ask you this, Matt.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do I recall you telling me last week you were going to New York?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you apply for your credential, you can go to the section that says discounted hotel block. A limited number of rooms are available at the New York Marriott Marquis. Discounted rooms are available at a rate of $409 a night. $409 a night, and that's the discount rate.
The discounted rate. And by the way, there was no availability by the time we booked. So we are not staying at the Marriott Marquis. And as I understand it, this is this weekend and next weekend are the 2 busiest weekends of the year in New York because it's the weekends around Christmas when everybody goes to see the tree at Rockefeller and the ice skating rink and all that sort of stuff. They go to FAO Schwartz and do the big piano. So yes, it is getting flights and hotels was a real challenge for this trip.
I can only imagine. Well, if you've ever been to the New York Marriott Marquis, which is a fabulous property, you get in, you take the elevator, and you go up to the 8th floor, and that's where the lobby is. But there's also a lobby bar there.
Ooh.
And if you are lucky enough, you can sit right on the window looking over Times Square. And once you score that table, your drinks are ridiculously priced, of course. But it's kind of like going to the movies, if you will. You could just sit there for a few drinks and watch the world go by in Times Square. You got all the people down below. You got all those signs. And everything just blinking. It's mesmerizing. So I recommend that strongly if you get that opportunity. You got to just wait, and you got to be kind of like a vulture. The table opens up, and boom,
When Joe Burrow won the trophy in 2019, the entire event was at the Marriott Marquis. There was a theater in there that I understand is now closed. They moved the event to the Lincoln Center at Central Park South, and I am actually staying at the New York Athletic Club right there at Central Park South as well. And Lee, as I understand, there's a dress code. You can't wear jeans or sneakers in the New York Athletic Club, a hotel.
Whoa.
So, yes.
Whoa.
Yes, like it is, and shirt tucked in at all times. So your boy is going to have to pivot. I'm not going to be able to wear any sneakers on this trip. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I hate to hear that. In around 1992, 91 or 92, we took a combined LSU Tulane water polo team down to Clearwater for an international water polo tournament. And our first game was against New York Athletic Club.
Okay.
They had just come off winning the USA National Indoor Championship. They beat us 24-1.
I bet they did.
I had the 1. And then we met up with them later, and we drank them into oblivion.
Yeah, you did.
So there is that. New York Athletic Club.
The cool thing as I was looking up, I mean, when I heard New York, I was staying at New York Athletic Club. Shout out to Gordy Rush, who set up my lodging for me. I didn't realize that New York Athletic Club was a hotel, but there is a hotel affixed. But there's also part of this hotel is an athletic club with like pools and boxing rings, and there's like polo and joust and fencing and all kind of stuff there. And there have been like hundreds of Olympians and that have gone on to be medalists and all that have trained there. So I'm actually kind of interested in seeing it. A little disappointed I can't wear sneakers, but whatever. It'll be an experience.
Well, you own a pair of shoes, at least one.
Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't get rid of all of them, Lee. I'll find something to wear.
It's good.
I know. All right.
Well,
yes.
I was going to say, yeah, I did tell you earlier that like I was really cramming this in. And so since I know I probably won't get to talk to you on a Tuesday again until 2024, because I'm out of pocket next week, the next week's 19th, and then the 26th, you probably aren't doing a show the day after Christmas. So
right.
I got all these beers, I just got to tell people about all the beers, so we can get all formal. You can cue up the music if you want.
Let's do it. Muse, cue the music. Hit it.
Is the malted liquor what gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chuck it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. I could really use it. Beer, beer, beer.
All right, take it away.
Well, I think it's appropriate, like you said, the prohibition ended on a day when I'll do like 5 beers. So a couple of these I may have done before with you, but
no.
I've been just stockpiling, and
you haven't. And actually, the first one you sent me, I am most interested in. The other two I'm fine. I'm fine to learn about them, but the first one I'm most interested in.
Okay, well, I'm going to go like in a different kind of order, though.
Well, damn it, then, Lee.
Well, I don't know what order I sent them to you in. So I think we might have done this once, but Ghost in the Machine by Parish Brewing, which is a double IPA, but it's seasonal. It's out now.
You didn't send
it's 8%
Ghost.
Alcohol, and as it says, welcome to the future. Our collective human consciousness, or Ghost in the Machine, has gained a tolerance for hops, blah, blah, blah. Ghost in the Machine, really, really good, strong double IPA. Kick your butt, tastes good. There you go.
That's not
then
one.
We got
that's
this,
not one. That's not one you sent me, by the way. You sent me 3. Ghost wasn't one of them, but Ghost is fantastic. I think everybody that drinks craft beer knows about Ghost in the Machine. It's a fantastic.
Correct. We got the Juvie Juice.
That's the one.
Which is, half and half, hard iced tea and lemonade, like an Arnold Palmer.
Okay.
But they pawn it off almost like a beer, right? And it's 5% alcohol. And since our weather is varying from hot days, cold nights, it's all over the place. I figured, why not? Here's 2 New Orleans icons brands band together to bring Juvie's favorite drink to the thirsty mouths of the South.
Okay.
Sip this sweet collab on Juvie Tuesdays and every other day of the week. Yeah, why not? Okay, there you go.
What did you think of Juvie Juice? I love the idea of it. I love juvenile. I just don't know that I love tea, and so I was curious. Is it approachable? Was it tasty? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, but not like a beer.
Got
You know,
it. So it doesn't.
I'm,
it's not taste.
yeah.
It's not carbonated like a beer. You're not going to get the fizzy carbonation or anything.
I tell you, I have to be honest on that one. I drank it so long ago, I don't remember.
I respect your honesty.
I'm helping. You know, our boy Carr helped us out and just loaded me down with so many good beers, and you know. So this one here, this is one I think we might have done before, but it's the Urban South Grapefruit Holy Roller. New England IPA, 6.3%.
We did Holy Roller. We did Holy Roller. We did not do Holy Roller Grapefruit.
Right. There's been a lot of Holy Rollers, you know, in that campaign, but this one is nice. And I'm not the biggest grapefruit guy, but in this with the IPA, very nice. I recommend this one from Holy Roller. Urban South's got a Christmas ale out too, but wasn't part of the package, and I forgot it. But I did taste that and really liked it. This one here, I think, is the one you might have been talking about, the Sour Ale, Pinot Noir, Grape, and Black Currant. Sort of like a wine beer. Sour Ale, 4.8%. Rich, dark wine grapes with bright fruit tones overlap with complex black currant and a sweet sour base that brightens both. Intense and flavorful, this juicy sour has depth unlike any similar beer. And I like this one. And again, this goes back to my temperature and weather being all over the place. You know, December's always like that in Baton Rouge. You can have freezing cold. Now, this one, I haven't had this one yet, but I didn't want to let it get away because Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium Brewery, it's called Fruit Force IPA. It's a hazy imperial IPA. Fruit Force takes key features of the American-style hazy imperial IPA with a fruit-forward hop aroma and flavor with a fruit punch twist, coming in at 9.5%. Fruit Force has a lighter body compared to most hazy imperials with a hint of residual sweetness. Voodoo Ranger breaks the ceilings on what can be an American-style hazy imperial and leaves you wanting more with its gorgeous golden straw color, slight haze, and a moderate amount of foam. And that is the one that I hadn't drank it yet. I've got two of them sitting in the fridge, but at 9.5%, just one. But it'll be my first act after getting off this call.
Lee,
and now I feel good, like I've closed out 2023 and done my beer service to everybody by rocking you with 5 beers. I drank a lot of beers for you this year, Matt. I do it for you.
And we appreciate it greatly. We'll see you in the new year. All the best.
Thank you, Matt.
That is the one and only Lee Feinswag. Hit us with 5 beers there on the way out for the year. Raise them high, toast, eat, drink, and be merry. That's Lee Feinswag. This is After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. If you're, you can always join us. You can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. I want to get back to some comments that Bruce Irvin, who injured Derek Carr on Sunday, made about Derek Carr. If you missed it, that's next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. Of course, if you're having that holiday party this Christmas season, Rouse's can help. Rouse's has so many great options. If you want those party trays, skip by Rouse's. They've got grab-and-go options, but if you want to custom make a party tray with whatever you want on it, they can do that as well. You can call any of your Rouse's locations, whichever one is nearest to you, or you can go into Rouse's. Super easy. When you go into Rouse's, go to the left. I mean, you'll see the butcher, and you'll see the bakery over there, and the floral department, the seafood department, whichever you're specifically looking to do. They're friendly. Of course, they're local. And when you're making groceries, I always tell you, man, look for those Rouse's branded products. Look for the red circle R logo. You can't miss it. One of the things that's most impressive about Rouse's is anytime they can, they source locally for their Rouse's branded products. They are local. It's Rouse's. This feels like home.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. and backed by the one-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Countryside.
Well, I heard he needed some help on the farm. Somebody with a truck and 2 strong arms, not scared of dirt and willing to work till the sun goes down.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Oh, no, Muse. No.
Oh, this is a good one right here.
No.
Yeah.
What's the rule?
Play songs about tractors or farming coming back from every break. Yes.
Nope.
That's the rule.
Play one song. We did this whole thing where you play a bunch of different songs and
You just told me to not play out she thinks my tractor's sexy.
Oh, I would have never said that.
You did.
Nah,
Check the tape.
Not me. You got the wrong guy. I'd never say that. Love that song. My jam. You know what else I love?
What's that?
Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Love my folks over at Sunshine, official equipment dealer of LSU Athletics. 17 locations, bunky and below. You want a zero-turn mower this Christmas? You better get you a Deere. You know where to get it? Sunshine. It's the only place. Premium product, great technology, awesome people. Service after the sales would set Sunshine apart. Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Give my folks at Sunshine a shout, man. Let them know we sent you in. I got time here. Real quick, I'll do this. So, of course, Derek Carr was injured Sunday in the game against Detroit. Back in the concussion protocol, second time in a month now. Shoulder, rib injuries. He's dealing with a lot. And the hit that he took on Sunday that knocked him out of the game was courtesy of Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin's one of the all-time great NFL pass rushers. He's 36 years old. And he played just 11 snaps. Coming off the couch, signed with Detroit, he played 11 snaps. And in those 11 snaps, he had a sack and that big hit on Derek Carr that ended his day. Bruce Irvin did an interview with Pro Football Talk. I guess he did this interview with Florio after the game and said, quote, "I woke up this morning and felt like a kid before Christmas. I was excited, Just trying to take full advantage of this opportunity because this part of my career, the opportunities are very limited. Just happy to be back, being part of a team again. Okay. The other part of what he said was specifically about Derek Carr. And this is the thing that caught my attention. So Bruce Irvin was a teammate of Derek Carr's in Oakland. And when asked about Derek Carr, he said, quote, I played with him in Oakland, so I know when you get around him, he gets rattled. He's a hell of a player, but we knew if we got around him, we could rattle him a little bit. For what it's worth, Irvin does say he expects a fine for his roughing the passer penalty. Said he thought Derek Carr had the ball, and the refs told him you got to roll to the side, you can't fall on him, whatever. When I read that about Derek Carr, though, Irvin, who played with Derek Carr in Oakland, knows him, shared a locker room with him, shared the sideline with him, the brotherhood, all that stuff, said, I know when you get around him, he gets rattled. I knew if we got around him, we could rattle him a little bit. I've made this point quite a bit about Derek Carr this year, and really since the Saints signed him, that when you are in year 10 of your NFL career, you are what you are. There is no reinventing yourself in year 10. If you're Derek Carr, whatever habits you have, whatever you are as a player, is what you are. And everybody knows it. People that played with you, people that played against you, and most importantly, the organization that had you for 9 years. This was the point that I made over and again when the Saints signed Derek Carr. Again, higher floor, lower ceiling. You're seeing that this year, by the way. The Saints against the easiest schedule they've literally ever faced. They're 5-7. You're not Carolina, so your floor is higher, but you're also not Philly, Dallas, or San Francisco. Your ceiling's lower. That's what you are with Derek Carr. And Bruce Irvin's telling you, that's a guy that you get around him, you can rattle him. And that's been the case with Derek Carr this year. When teams are playing coverage because they got a big lead and Derek Carr can sit in a clean pocket and rip it a little bit, throw for a lot of yards. The game's in doubt and he's being pressured, he throws picks and he gets rattled. Year 10, you are what you are. And Derek Carr is the emperor of empty yards. Good job, Muse. Casey, off with your head. For those that are listening and not watching, whenever we play the horns, we stand at attention for His Highness, the Emperor of Empty Yards, Derek Carr. That time he got it. You're lucky you're still alive. They were taking you to the gallows, actually, this moment. The gallows is where they hang you, right? What do they call it where they cut off your head?
Yeah, the gallows. The guillotine is the cut
Well, no,
off
it's
the
the
head.
guillotine,
Yeah.
but is it like, is the guillotine the blade or the entire contraption?
I think it's the entire contraption.
Okay. So like you'd say you go to the guillotine.
Yeah.
Off to the guillotine.
Off with his head. I think
Well, no,
this is
off,
what- yeah.
but if you're taking him, like, off with his head to the guillotine.
There you go.
Okay. Off with his head to the guillotine for not respecting the Emperor of Empty Yards, Derek Dallas Carr. Next time you have to make sure you put yourself on camera so they can see. Otherwise, I could still lie about you and say he didn't stand. All right. Seriously, in all seriousness, we do hope Derek Carr is healthy and, most importantly, 2 concussions in a month. It's it's serious. But when I saw that from Bruce Irvin, it just resonated. It's like that's a guy that played with him, knows him well, has been around the league a long time, and knows what Derek Carr is. And what Derek Carr is what he's shown this year to the Saints. A guy with a high floor and a low ceiling. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Love telling you about Shaw Bills. Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Just a bit ago, actually, I just got this. So you'll hear from time to time, you'll hear recorded commercials that we do. And so Shaw Bills will send me their latest promotions. And I don't know that I can read all the promotions directly because there's a lot of fine print and stuff that has to go into those. But Literally for the rest of December, there's a great deal coming for Michelin, BF Goodrich, Toyo, and Firestone tires. You can read more if you go to the website, ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. If you hit the promotions tab at the top of the page, you can see all of their deals. So if you're shopping for tires, it's about time to buy new tires. I get it. Tires are expensive. It's not fun to buy. All that stuff. Well, ShawBills will find ways to get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible. Just go to ShawBillsTire.com. That's ShawBillsTire.com. And you'll see all the promotions, the way they can get you rolling for the best price possible. And, of course, they treat you like family. That's why people keep coming back year after year after year. It's ShawBills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, I do want to we got Sean Salisbury coming up in 15 minutes. If you missed it earlier today, hat tip to Mike Denbrock, who was a Broyles finalist. The Broyles Award ceremony was today. He did not win. Phil Parker, the DC at Iowa, won, but Mike Denbrock did reflect a little bit on being honored as a Broyles finalist.
I'm humbled to even be here with these other finalists. These are great football coaches, great football minds, and for me to even be in the company of these guys is a great honor for me. I hope that somewhere along the way they come up with other great ideas so I can continue to swipe them as much as I possibly can.
Mike Denbrock is a great coach and a great man. So congrats on being a Broyles finalist. As we mentioned, though, Phil Parker, the defensive coordinator from Iowa, won the award. And honestly, my one concern was that Sharon Moore was going to win it. And Michigan was not a great team offensively, but Sharon Moore, a lot of times awards become about notoriety. And Sharon Moore was the interim head coach for Michigan when Jim Harbaugh was suspended. So because of that name recognition, it's not to say Sharon Moore isn't a good coach or even a great coach. And it was a challenging ask, but when you're looking at, an assistant coach of the year, I don't think because a team cheated and the head coach got suspended, the guy that replaced him should be up for that. It was, really, this was a two-man race when you looked at, Iowa and Phil Parker, and Mike Denbrock. LSU had the best offense in college football, and Michigan actually was the best scoring defense in college football at 9.5 points per game, and Iowa was fourth in scoring, fifth in total defense. But in any event, congrats to Phil Parker, the Broyles Award winner. Still think Mike Denbrock got hosed, but I don't have a vote. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out our final break here of hour number 2. Muso will have Tigers in the Pros. Sean Salisbury in 15 minutes. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. We're over at Clegg's on Black Friday. Y'all know our Black Friday family tradition is we wake up, get coffee, and then we go get our Christmas tree, go back to the house, and Erica spends the rest of the day decorating. We finally have all of the Christmas decorations unloaded, but the first thing she did was she decorated the Christmas tree, and our Christmas tree from Clegg's is gorgeous. They had a great selection. I know that was a big concern for a lot of people about the real Christmas trees because of the drought conditions this summer, how much of a drought there was. But Clegg's, man, the selection they got from the tree farms are absolutely exquisite. And they still have a great selection at all 4 locations. Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Actually, if you look at their Facebook page, I just pulled this up. They posted a picture from today at one of the locations of the Christmas tree. Those are big, full, beautiful Christmas trees. So if you're still looking to buy your Christmas tree, it's not too late. They got a great selection at Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations: Seagoneer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Donmore, and Greenwell Springs. Clegg's Nursery.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The best.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on. She's always staring at me.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Even kind of crazy about my farmer stand. Yes, me. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Pierce, let me know when we're back.
We're back.
No, let me know when we're back live on the show.
We're back live on air.
I don't believe you.
Oh, well, we are.
Why are you sitting here letting me sing this song live on air then?
It's one of your favorite songs. You like it a lot. Keep requesting it, as a matter of fact.
I thought I told you never to play this again.
You did, and then you said, "Where's my song? Play it again."
That didn't happen.
It did.
You're a liar.
Check tape.
He said a teeny weeny ride.
He did. He did say that.
You know what, Muse? Let's do
that?
Tigers in the Pros, but don't you dare change this music.
Okay. Oh, that didn't have the same effect, but all right.
Don't care, Muse.
All right, we'll do it that way.
I'm going to enjoy this while you talk about guys that scored touchdowns and whatnot.
Yeah, hey, and look, that's what we were talking about yesterday, right? That there wasn't an LSU Tiger yet who had scored a touchdown.
Crank this part, Muse. She's the only one who really understands what meant me. She thinks my tractor's sexy.
You're getting closer. You're getting closer. You're getting closer.
Am I really?
No.
Yeah,
but not actually at all. Jamar Chase came
Shout
through
out
with
to
the
Sunshine,
touchdown.
your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Get that sexy tractor over at Sunshine.
11 receptions, 149 yards, and the touchdown, long as 76. That was the touchdown. All that came on 12 targets, so a huge part of the Bengals win last night. Kaylavon Chason on the other side for Jacksonville. 2 tackles in the game. A hit on the quarterback. Both of his tackles were for a loss. Quickly here, NBA G League and KJ Williams. A bit of a minutes reduction for him last night. Kind of a half day, if you will, for him. Only 16 minutes. So the double-double didn't come to fruition, but still had 7 and 6 if you're KJ. So still really, really solid there.
Did you just scan back on the song?
I did.
It's just like a total jump cut. You just scrolled right back.
Yep. Well, we needed to fix it.
You could have just waited until it ended and started it over.
No.
Start it over, Muse. Go from the head. Let's go. We'll hit the post together. Just go all the way to the beginning.
Oh, I don't have that much left in Tigers.
I don't care. We got 2 minutes left in the hour. We'll get there. Just go to the beginning. Feeling good here, Muse. I love this part. I actually don't know this part at all.
This is the beginning. This is the head.
Yeah, there it is.
Right there. So 7-6 for KJ Williams last. Excuse me, that was earlier today. I apologize. The matinee action in the G League. That's Tigers in the pros.
Got you all out of sorts.
Yeah,
Muse.
this is not the normal. Not how we do it.
You got to learn how to pivot, Muse.
Yeah. Well, that was Tigers in the pros.
Muse, you got to be flexible. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gents, if you're not going to get her a tractor this Christmas, get her a diamond from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Nobody does it better. Baton Rouge, 2 locations at Baton Rouge, as a matter of fact. New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, and online at lmfj.com. lmfj.com. Oh, here it goes. Muse, I thought I told you never to play this song again.
No. You actually requested it multiple times.
I know. I love it so much. All right, we got Sean Salisbury coming up next hour. What do you think Sean is... I'm excited to get Sean... I'm say excited. I'm interested in getting Sean's take on not only the Florida State committee, but I'm really interested in his take on Derek Carr. Seriously, like, Derek Carr has been concussed twice now in a month. He's got a shoulder injury, a rib injury. Like, is this one of those things where you tell him, hey, man, like, just go unplug, decompress for a bit, and we'll run this thing back when the time is right? We'll get to that with Sean Salisbury. Sports Center's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines. It's AFR powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Michelli. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. You know where to find them, at Michelli.com. Man, I was reminded of this today. I was in a client meeting. We're talking about Michelli. And, I went to the ribbon cutting for the new calibration lab down in Harahan last month. And it was a great event. I mean, they built this big, beautiful addition to their calibration lab, state-of-the-art technology, everything. The big ribbon cutting. Mike Hoss, the voice of the Saints, was there to MC it. And everyone I talked to, from their clients to their employees, to everyone, was just, when we talked, they said, man, we hear you talk about Michelli all the time. And so I think so many people maybe didn't even realize this company is 76 years old, 30 different locations across 11 states, and they're rooted right here, locally owned and operated. They're just great people doing awesome work. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com.
Relentless reporting gets results.
I'm never going to stop until we get the answers you need.
Uncovering more as the powerful try to cover things up.
What happens in the dark will always come to light.
Founding new principles and practices for the state of Louisiana.
Chief Investigative Reporter Chris Nakamoto.
Chris Nakamoto and the Investigative Unit. Recipients of Columbia University's prestigious DuPont Award.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. A high right ankle sprain, the diagnosis for Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Coach Doug Peterson did not completely rule him out against the Browns Sunday. If he does not play, C.J. Beathard gets the start. Whether Lawrence plays this week or in a few weeks, do expect some tweaks to Jacksonville's offense, notes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Doug Peterson to try to figure out a way when they do get him back to use this perimeter talent that they have in speed to get it out of his hands quickly. Obviously, you want to be explosive with the throws from Trevor. I think this offense can still be explosive without Trevor having to push it down the field as much as you would ask him to do with a fully healthy ankle.
Jags lead the AFC South by a game on Houston and Indy and are the AFC's fourth seed. Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito starts versus the Packers Monday night. After 2 starts, the Jets released QB Tim Boyle and signed Brett Rippon from Seattle's practice squad. Dodger skipper Dave Roberts acknowledged at the baseball winter meetings today his team met this week with two-way sensation Shohei Ohtani, added that clearly Shohei is their top priority this offseason.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Casey Gaines, although we didn't get him a drop. Should have paid attention. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. We do it every Tuesday. Talk a little football with our guy, one of the absolute best, Sean Salisbury. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Sean, we appreciate you, man. How are you?
Great to be with you, brother. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Let me open with what I guess is maybe the biggest topic around certainly college football, if not all the sports, over the last 48 hours. That's the Florida State-Alabama decision. I'd love to know your thoughts. Are you okay with the committee putting in Alabama over Florida State?
Oh, I'm absolutely okay with it. Now, and I'm going to tell you why. They're better. It's just simple. They are. It's odd now. I think there's a lot of what's the word? There's a lot of conflictory stuff to me that I think there's. You look at the week before. I'm still trying to figure out why they had Ohio. As I back up a little bit, Ohio State and who was it? Ohio State and was it Oregon ahead of Texas? It didn't seem to me like going into last Tuesday, about a week ago, when the committee came up with and had Texas behind them, when it came to the thing, that it was like, well, they didn't put too much stock into the Texas win over Alabama since it happened in September. Yet push forward now, all of a sudden it became a real important win when Alabama beat Georgia. To me, I don't understand why a win. I've talked about this ad nauseum. why anybody thinks a win in November should be any more important than a win in September, other than maybe a team gets better because they get better as the season goes. But just the value of a win when you beat a third-ranked team, Texas should not have been punished the week before. So I don't know why Oregon and Ohio State were ahead of. Was it Ohio State? Regardless, Texas was behind teams that didn't have as valuable a win as Texas. Now you shoot forward to now, and the hypocrisy of it is that bothers me is the win we value the wins. Because think about this: if Georgia would have lost in September and would have been 12-1, do you think they'd be playing in the Final Four?
If they beat Alabama.
Yeah, regardless, right? But even with one line, it wouldn't have mattered, right? It doesn't matter who they would have lost to is my point. So for me, why Alabama's better, the eye test, they're a better team right now. And if you're taking into account, which I'm not sure, did Florida State get hosed and do they have an argument? Of course, under the way that we see it. If you really want to do it that way, just go the undefeated conference champions in the Power 5, which will be Power 4 next year without the Pac-12, is just if you're automatically undefeated in the Power 5 conference, you go. Well, that would have been Michigan, Washington, and Florida State. And then you decide between Georgia, Alabama, and Texas and how you do it. But there's no doubt when you bring humans into it, whether it's fallible or what have you. Listen, I give Florida State, I'm just looking at it from the committee standpoint, I give Florida State credit for being able to overcome a quarterback loss and still find a way to eke out victories, although they weren't pretty. Yet you're telling me how valuable that Jordan Travis is, yet he's not a Heisman finalist, yet he was really good. So you've diminished and shrunk Florida because they lost their quarterback, yet their team did one hell of a job of rallying around a second stringer and a third stringer the last 2 weeks. But if you're just looking at it honestly and saying, what's the criteria? That's why I always have a problem. Is it head-to-head? Is it when the victory happened? Is it it's more important to win in November than September? Is it personnel? Because Mike Norvell and his team did everything necessary, to put themselves in position. I'm sure in the offseason he said, if we win them all and win our conference championship, we're going. Well, they did that, and they're not there. But the other side of it, why I don't have a problem is, who are the 4 best teams in the country right now? If that's part of this criteria, which Herb Street, a lot of them say you want the 4 best. It's not a matter of getting the optics right. It's the 4 best. And in truth, if you went by that, Georgia would be playing, because I would have Georgia favored against all 7 other teams in the top 8. If you said, Sean, here's $100,000, you got to bet it on the first 8 teams, you got to bet it all on one team to win the national title, and it was and they were playing each other, I'd pick Georgia. Still, they would be the team I would pick to win it also. I think they're the best. As far as if you're going to take somebody out, who are you taking out of the Final Four? You're telling me that Alabama right now, I can't take Alabama out. They're the SEC champ. It's the toughest conference normally. I can't take them out. They're better than Florida State. They're just better. And the truth is, I'm not sure the score was even indicative. I thought they put it on Georgia pretty good, even though I think Georgia still has an argument that they're the best team in the country, and they are going to be pissed. And if Florida State was as good as everybody thought, why are they 14-point dogs against Georgia in another bowl game? So I'm not disrespecting Florida State. Maybe it sounds like it. I think they've had a phenomenal season. Do they have an argument and a bitch and a gripe? They absolutely do. But if we're talking you want the 4 best teams in the country, we can't put Cincinnati in there anymore like we did. It wasn't a Power 5 team. Florida State did it and expanded. Unfortunately, they don't have it expanded yet. There's only 4. If we'd have left Texas out, if we'd have left Alabama out, imagine Alabama beating the number 1 team the last 3 years to date, and Alabama's going home. Why would we keep Alabama out because they lost in September when the week before it didn't appear that the committee really lended enough credence to the Texas win because they were behind 2 teams that they had a more impressive schedule and a more impressive win. The best win in the country this year was Texas at Alabama, yet up until the championship game that the Alabama win over Georgia wasn't far behind, except the fact that it was on a neutral site and not in Tuscaloosa. So I know there's a lot of disagreement. It's a lot of anxiety and stress for Florida State and people around the country, but there's no way you could tell me that Florida State, they may be double-digit dogs against all 4 teams that are in the playoffs if they were in it. I can't put I mean, I could put them in because the criteria of how they're looking at it. I can't put them in if you're telling me they're the 4 best teams and their starting quarterback is not playing, which diminishes the roster. Even though that may not be a criteria, they made it a criteria. If they really wanted right, Georgia should be playing. They're one of the 4 best. But if we're going by how this sets up, I don't see how you could take the SEC champion and the way they're playing now with the eye test. I think they can go win the whole thing, Alabama, and I still think Georgia's a better team, even though they got beat by Alabama in that game, in that particular game. I feel bad for Florida State. It sucks, but sometimes life sucks, and there's no rhyme or reason other than the fact the eye test tells you. I would pick all 7 teams that are in the top 8, not named Florida State. I would pick every single one of them in a playoff over Florida State without Jordan Travis.
So then why do we play games? That's what I keep going back to.
Matty, now if you're
Sean,
asking me,
why are we playing games,
listen,
man? Look, the Cincinnati Bengals were a 10-point dog last night. Who cares what Vegas thinks? They played a game and Jake Browning threw for 350. Man,
you're asking me if I care.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that you don't think college football or the NFL care about what Vegas thinks. You damn well know they do. They do care, and they care about the odds.
I think the committee just cares about money, man. The committee cares about money. It was what matchups that they could get on TV, and it's disgusting that a team that won every game they played, beat 2 SEC teams, gets left out because a bunch of people in a room think another team's better. Why are we playing games?
I personally, if you go over the committee list, why are some people? I mean, I see some. I don't even know why an athletic director should be allowed in the committee.
Completely.
I have zero idea why the Michigan athletic director or somebody else. Why? Well, you mean if with 8 billion people or 300 million people in the United States, we can't find 13 cats that weren't an athletic director or former coach of a team in a certain conference? We can't find 13 smart. I'm not saying I agree with it, Matty. I'm just telling you why Florida State. And you said, do I have a problem? I don't. I have a problem with the way the system's set up. But if you're saying the 4 best teams, I'm heartbroken for Florida State. If that was SC, I'd be up in arms as well. But you and I both know, remove what happened. Is Florida State on a football site with their back quarterback when they're playing, are they one of the 4 best teams in the country right now? Would you bet on that?
I don't know. Let's go play a game and find out.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Like Mike Leach has said, and I think you're the one who posted it.
I did.
And it's brilliant. And Mike, we've had millions of conversations about Mike.
Yeah.
Really, it's not really a playoff. It's not, because Florida State deserves a shot to prove that they either suck. Now, if they go get boat raced by Georgia, everybody's going to say thank you. If they go beat Georgia, Eagles going to be all over the face because Kirby Smart's going to have his team playing like a team possessed. But I would imagine Mike Norvell is too. And so I'm with you. Yeah. Why do we play them? I would, Matty, according to the way they did it, I would not schedule a difficult game in September. If I could. Any non-conference game, I would not schedule.
Why do it?
Schedule Tennessee, Chattanooga, schedule them all. And then, listen, in truth, when I just look at the optics of an easy schedule, and yes, Michigan belongs there. They're number 1. Michigan's schedule was putrid. Who they beat? They beat Ohio State, and their quarterback's transferring, and a good Penn State defense with a decent offense. But and they belong in the 4. But if you're just looking at the optics and who they beat, hell, I could make the argument that is Michigan really did the optics tell you they're the best team the way they didn't throw it much lately, but they deserve to be where they are because they were undefeated. But why is their undefeated more important than Florida State's undefeated, right? Beating 2 SEC teams. So the conflict and the hypocrisy bugs me. But for my viewing pleasure, I guess is what I'm talking about, I do not believe that Florida State is one of the 4 best teams, and that's the problem. Somebody was going to get hosed. And if Alabama, let me ask you this, what would there be a bigger argument across the country? I mean, I'm in the fodder on these hot take shows. If Alabama went home or Florida State going home, which one do you think would get more backlash?
I think it's what's happened right now. Because Sean, I watched Alabama 10 days ago need a 4th and 31 to beat a 6-6 Auburn team. I watched Alabama struggle with South Florida. I watched Alabama lose by double digits at home to Texas. I watched Alabama eke past Arkansas, needing to run out the clock at the end before Arkansas had a half a field opportunity to go win that football game in Tuscaloosa. Bama didn't pass the eye test at all this year until Saturday.
Right, and a couple other games along the way. If think about this, if the committee could have, Matty, pulled it off, they would have loved to have Georgia in it against Alabama. They would have killed for that. You know that, right? If they could have, they would have tried to make it work. And back to that, and then you think about Texas. We had people on our show calling in arguing, well, what about Texas? I know they had the biggest win of the year, and I agree that they belong in. But there are some that said, well, look, they struggled with a 2-win team in the University of Houston. Even in certain wins, they did not look impressive yet. I think they can go win it all, and I'm happy to start. The problem is, you see this, we can make the argument that for all this, and that's why the system is so flawed. We hated the BCS, well, because of computers, we want real live humans, and we got athletic directors and alumni from schools sitting in a 13-person room deciding Florida State's fate. They got hosed. There is no doubt about it. But for my viewing pleasure, Florida State is not one of the 4 best teams. And judging from what we're set up to be, unfortunately, they were the one that drew the short straw, and it sucks for them.
I want to ask you about – we're going to grab a break. I want to ask you about the comments Matt Rule made about quarterbacks in the transfer portal. I also got to get some thoughts on Derek Carr. We're going to get to that here in a second. 2 concussions for Derek Carr, a bunch of injuries. Should he just sit it out? We'll get to that with Sean Salisbury. We're glad you're with us here. Let's knock out a quick break. We'll continue on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Hey, I keep reminding you, River City's 1 Hour Air is doing an awesome thing this Christmas. They're adopting 3 families who are maybe going through a tough time at this time of year around the holidays. And they're going to help make Christmas a little brighter for those 3 families. It's Operation Christmas Spirit 2023 with River City's 1 Hour Air. If you know a family that's maybe less fortunate, struggling around this Christmas season, you can nominate them there. All you got to do is email Christmas@onehourbr.com. Email Christmas@onehourbr.com to nominate that family in need. And or you could give them a shout if you need more info. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 to get more info. Help River City's 1 Hour Air make Christmas a little brighter for 3 families in our area this Christmas season. It's River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Follow us on Twitter @1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter @1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your taste.
She ain't a fooling me. She thinks my tractor's sexy. It really turns her on.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
Muse, I thought I told you never to play this again.
Contrary, you said play it every time.
Did I tell you not to play this ever again?
Once, and then you came back and said actually play it every time.
I'm going to get it eventually.
No, probably not.
No, we'll never get it. We are powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Get that sexy tractor this Christmas. Or, of course, a zero-turn mower. They got gators for all you hunters this time of year. Love visiting with Sean Salisbury, of course, host of the Sean Salisbury Show. Y'all get him on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered when it comes to talking ball and talking quarterbacks. Few better to do it. Hey, man, I wanted to get a thought on two things I want to touch on here, Sean. One is the comments Matt Rule made about quarterbacks in the portal. And not that it's surprising, right, that a quarterback would cost $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million, a good starting quarterback. It's more so that a coach would say it publicly in a press conference. And now there's a glut of quarterbacks hitting the portal. Sean, my read on this is if you're a college quarterback, why wouldn't you go test the portal market and see if you can get broke off? Because so few guys are actually going to make that kind of money in the NFL. If you were a college quarterback today, would you just hit the portal just to see what the market was like?
I get why they do it. I mean, if my dad was still alive, he wouldn't let me transfer 4 times in 5 years or whatever it is, because he'd say, you're going to gut this out now. I get reasons a coach leaves or you feel more comfortable. Somebody got hurt, and you got benched and replaced because you lost your job with an injury. I get it. I don't like it, Matty. I don't. And I don't have a problem with what Matt Rule said. It's about time somebody spoke it out loud, because he just said what we all know. Matter of fact, I actually think we need more of that Matt Rule, more of the Mike Leach stuff. Listen, it's out there. It's an elephant in the room. Call it out, man. It's true. And can you imagine being on – can you think about it? I'm just thinking about when I played, and I know things change. It's not the old head. Listen, and you are exactly right. Most of these guys are not going to play it down in the NFL. They're going to make it a shot, play a little bit, but it's not going to be a longer – they may make more money doing this and transferring and getting $1 million here, $1 million there. I don't blame them, because the rules say they can't. I'm not like,
hang on. Pick up the phone there, Muse. Let's see if you can get him. I know we lost Sean there. I want to get him back. So I wanted to finish his thought there. I also want to get Sean's thought on Derek Carr, and if Derek Carr should shut it down for the year with all the injuries, especially concussions. All right, we're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Muse is going to call Sean right back. We're going to finish the segment. Remember, theantiagingclinics.com. You want to look and feel like your younger self? They can help. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana tell you every day, a simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. You want to regain that youthful feeling? You want to wake up feeling refreshed? You want to be energized to get in the gym? You want to be able to build muscle, burn fat? A simple once-a-week injection could help. It's safe. It's affordable. It's hormone replacement therapy at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, right near Perkins. Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. And online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. And, of course, if you're looking for great stocking stuffers this Christmas, gift cards from the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana are a great option. Again, online, theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. All right, Muse is reconnecting with Sean. Very quickly, Jimmy also sent a bet. We got Otter Locks in about 20 minutes from right now. Jimmy did send an early pick for those that are interested and you're looking to play along. Florida Atlantic -2. It's actually 2.5 at DraftKings. Jimmy always says if it's inside of 5, buy the half a point, so buy it down to 2. If you're interested in bet, Florida Atlantic, they tip off Florida Atlantic -2, tipping off here in about 7 minutes from right now at 5:30. I'm trying to get Forgive me. Where is it? Here it is. So it's Florida Atlantic. They're at Illinois. FAU is laying 2.5. Ranked on ranked matchup. 11th ranked Florida Atlantic at 20th ranked Illinois, laying the 2 with Florida Atlantic in by the half point. That's the early tip. We'll get auto locks here in about 20 minutes from right now. Muse, talk to me. We're not having any success getting through to him?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, no worries. Having some issues with Sean's cell phone. It's a bummer, man. I really wanted to get into his take on Derek Carr because I think there's a very legitimate question to be asked about whether or not Derek Carr certainly should play this week. And I think there's a very legitimate question to ask if he should play over the final month of the season. Considering the shoulder injuries that's of course the AC joint he hurt in the first month of the season. The injury he had on Sunday, also Dennis Allen disclosed rib injury, and then this is now the second time in 4 weeks that he's been in the concussion protocol. At some point, you legitimately look back and say, all right, do you have to protect your investment? In the way, I know it's not exactly the same because of the optics, but in many ways it's exactly the same. It's what happened with Tua last year with Miami. And Tua had a couple of really scary moments when he was concussed. And I know we talked about this at the time, and I don't mean for any to minimize this, but when Tua was concussed in the game where he locked up, we saw his hands and his fingers lock up. If you watch combat sports, if you watch boxing or MMA, this is common in MMA, you will see guys, when they get knocked unconscious, their body lock up like that. So while that was, I think, scary for a lot of people, it was very common for people that watch, quite honestly, people get concussed often, which I love MMA, and that happens. But it doesn't take away from the very real situation that, when you have multiple severe head injuries in a short amount of time, you have to sit back and let yourself heal and get to a point where you feel like you can actually go back and play and be effective again. So Tua missed 4 games a year ago as a result of those concussions. And I think listen, if Derek Carr passes the protocol and is cleared to return, he's going to play. I think we could probably all understand that. But I also think that it is the very real, sensible, practical thing to do to look at that situation and say, man, it's probably worth it for you to think about your life and make sure that you're as healthy as you can be before you give this a go again. It's also why you pay Jameis Winston the money you pay him as a backup quarterback. Elevate Jake Haener to be your backup in this time. You'd have Taysom Hill available as well as an emergency situation if you decided to go that route. But I think as this week goes along, and look, tomorrow's Wednesday, we'll get the first injury report of the week, and the Saints are playing the Carolina Panthers, who have 1 win on the season. And I'm not necessarily saying that this because of who the opponent is. Maybe subconsciously that factors in a smidge, but the reality is in the NFL, it's any given Sunday, and Carolina Panthers have won a game this year because anybody can win a game on a given Sunday. Look, yesterday, Jacksonville was a 10-point home favorite on Monday Night Football, and Jake Browning went and threw for 350 and beat him outright. So, look, the win that Carolina has is against the Texans. And there's few teams in the NFL playing as well because of C.J. Stroud, who's about to shatter the NFL rookie passing record and throw for 5,000 yards. So, yes, I think I will be very interested to see what the injury report looks like when it comes out on Wednesday afternoon, to see what the designation is for Derek Carr and if it's looking like he's trending toward playing this weekend, because I think there's a real scenario where you look and say, it's not worth it. It's not worth running him out there this weekend. But we'll start to get more of that answer on tomorrow when the first injury report comes out. Okay, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Apologize for that, man. We love talking with Sean every week. And the phones just let us down there, man. He was traveling today, and he was driving. He must have just hit a bad spot. So we apologize for that, not being able to finish that conversation with Sean Salisbury. We'll look forward to visiting with Sean next week. Let me knock out a break. Come back. Mike Denbrock was was a finalist for the Broyles Award. Phil Parker, the DC from Iowa, won it. But we'll let you hear some of what Mike Denbrock had to say today up at the Broyles Award ceremony. And Brian Kelly met with reporters. In hour one, we recapped some of what BK had to say about potential staff changes. If you missed that, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Goff, you can go catch it on demand on YouTube or podcast, however you get your podcast, search after further review. When we come back, Brian Kelly also talked about his roster, who's playing in the bowl game, transfer portal targets, all that sort of stuff. We'll get to that when we continue. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. That's Glow Resources. GlowResources.com, GLO, GlowResources.com. At Glow, they like to think of themselves as a first resort for quality and long-term effectiveness in hiring. So many business owners, when you're hiring, you lean on a staffing agency, a temp staffing agency, as a last resort. Glow wants you to think of them instead as a first resort. They have a white-collar division along with skilled blue-collar labor as well. And anything from, look, tax season's coming up. If you're looking for accounting personnel, Glow Resources can help. If you're looking to hire C-level management, Glow Resources can help. If you need project managers, you need to staff call centers, you need engineers, Glow Resources can help. GLO, GlowResources.com, GlowResources.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
We will begin our practice on Monday, our first practice, which will give us 15 practice opportunities prior to the first game. It'll give us approximately 17 meetings. It'll give us 4 to 5 weight training opportunities. So ample opportunity for us to continue to develop our football players and certainly prepare ourselves against a Wisconsin opponent that we're excited, obviously, and want to be able to put our best foot forward.
Why are bowl games important? Those 17 meetings and 15 practices and the weight opportunities that Brian Kelly just described, that's why bowl games are important. Nobody cares any longer about the competitive nature of it. It's no longer deemed as a reward. That went out of the window long ago. Why do we continue to see more and more bowl games with smaller and smaller attendance? Because the jig is up. We all know what it is. It's nothing but a money grab. It's a TV show. It's a TV window with a sponsor, and the old dudes in ugly jackets make a lot of money on it. That's the only thing that it comes down to now with bowl games. So, yeah, this is an opportunity for Brian Kelly and his staff to start to get LSU ready for 2024 and beyond. So when we start to talk about LSU getting ready for 2024 and beyond, obviously, roster evaluation and looking at who's going to be available is a major part of that. Now, last week, LSU had all of their player evaluations, and Brian Kelly kind of alluded a bit to he was asked, do they know who's going to be available for the bowl game? For what it's worth, I won't bury the lead here. Jaden Daniels has not made that decision. Kelly said that he had a death in the family, went home last week, but Jaden Daniels has not decided yet if he's going to play in the bowl game. My opinion is Jaden Daniels shouldn't go nowhere near Tampa, Florida on January 1st. That dude has tens of millions of dollars on the line to go be a top 10 draft pick. You don't risk it. You go start getting ready for Senior Bowl and Combine and all that stuff. That's his decision to make. Here's what Kelly said about who's going to be available.
I think we have a really good sense of the players that will be available for the bowl game. For me to stand here and tell you exactly what those players are, I couldn't do that. But I would say that we spent all of last week doing exit interviews with our players. So we feel like we're in a pretty good position relative to who we think is playing. And any of that information, will come out here in the next week or so.
We'll also start to get the next week or so is a good way to determine, because with the portal window being open now, we're going to start to learn of more guys that are into the portal that obviously won't be there. And then guys will start making their draft decisions, and you'll start to see all the Twitter graphics with players announcing if they're going pro or coming back, and they'll announce that they're opting out of the bowl game. So really what bowl games have become is an opportunity for younger players to get out there and play. Yes, there's going to be guys that return, starters that return, but really it's going to be an opportunity for guys who are going to be starters and contributors next year to get a real look and to get a lot of experience. Remember before the Fiesta Bowl back in 2018, remember Derek Stingley practiced with the team? He wasn't able to play in the bowl game, but he was able to practice, go through all those bowl practices. I'm not telling you there's going to be early enrollees for bowl practice. I really don't know that yet. But that's the opportunity that's there for a lot of these young guys to start getting a jump start on spring and then ultimately on fall. Now, this is also a time where, on top of developing players for next year who are currently on your team, this is the time with the portal open and understanding who's going to be returning and who's going to be going pro and who might be hitting the portal. This is an opportunity as you start to build your roster for next year. And one of the positions that everyone is looking at mostly is quarterback. There was the report, I believe it was Steve Wiltfong at 247 on Monday, that MJ Morris, the quarterback from NC State, who's in the portal, has interest from LSU, Baylor, Maryland, the other schools that are interested in MJ Morris. So Brian Kelly was asked about what the impact that might have on Garrett Nussmeier if they add a quarterback in the portal. Is that a conversation they have with Garrett?
This is a world that we live in that has got to be handled with transparency. If not, you're going to find yourself without the right personnel. So if we were to ever do anything in the transfer portal relative to a quarterback, we're talking to everybody in that room. And we're talking to recruits. We're talking to everybody. It is about transparency. It's about honesty. And it's about saying, if we're doing that, here's why we're doing it. And then making a decision and doing it. Because, again, the most important thing here is what's in the best interest of LSU's football program, not what's in the best interest of a singular person.
I think it's the best way to say it. Now, if you actually believe it and live by that with your actions, then that's going to show. And that maps back to the point we've made consistently about quarterback. And I'm going to repeat myself, and you've heard me say it before, but I'm going to say it again because I think it has to be said. And I'm going to say it over and over and over again, which is if you don't add a quarterback in the portal, you are negligent. If you're Brian Kelly and the staff, and I keep hearing this notion that, well, you got to develop the guys that you recruit. Yes, you do. You absolutely do. You have to develop Garrett Nussmeier in every quarter, and Ricky Collins, and next year Colin Hurley. Yes, you have to develop those players. And you also have to plan for the possibility of an injury or the fact that that player doesn't develop. Or what if the week before the biggest game of the season, that player gets Dallas Turnered and is concussed and can't play? Are you turning to redshirt freshman Ricky Collins? You know what happens? Then you're in the situation Florida State's in right now. If you don't go get a player, you're in that situation where you don't have another option. And in years past, that's just what it was. You had to sign a quarterback every year. You hope guys stayed and developed, and eventually they get their turn. But the rules have changed, and the opportunity to add experience, depth at the most important position in team sport is there for every team, so why wouldn't you do it? You bring in competition. This is, and it's a little surprising. Candidly, it's a little surprising that LSU fans, that there's this segment of the fan base that continues to push back against the idea of bringing in a transfer when we have an almost mirror image scenario of what happened 2 years ago with Miles Brennan. You had Miles Brennan. You had a young Garrett Nussmeier. You had Walker Howard coming in. And they went and got Jaden Daniels because they looked and said, man, Brennan's been here a long time, but he hadn't played much. We really don't know what he's got. We got a chance to add a guy that started for 3 years in a Power 5. Let's bring him in. Let him compete. Let the best man win. And it's worked out really well for LSU. I mean, this is almost a cut and paste carbon copy of where you were 2 years ago when Brian Kelly got here. You got the veteran that's been around for a while but hadn't played much. You got the redshirt freshman and the incoming freshman. The decision they made 2 years ago to add Jaden Daniels proved to be pretty prudent, right? Why wouldn't you do it again? It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not talking about NIL. I mean, like, just a roster spot. Yes, you go add a quarterback. Absolutely you do. And Brian Kelly's right. Be transparent. Have that conversation. Make your decision how you're going to move forward. I don't think Garrett Nussmeier's leaving. He's waited this long. It's his time. Go get it. But don't be afraid to compete with someone you bring in. And if you're Brian Kelly, don't be afraid that you're going to run somebody off by bringing in somebody. You're doing what's best for the program. And yes, adding an experienced quarterback is good for the program. For what program? Any program. One more from Brian Kelly. It's not just quarterback, but he talked about the approach in the portal, and hat tip Shea Dixon, who I know has been talking about this for months now, about how the approach in the transfer portal changes for LSU this year as opposed to the last two seasons.
Look at our defense. You know, we took 15 out of the portal, 13 played on defense. That group was not a close-knit group. I said it many times. It's a red flag when you have to do that. We don't believe that we have to do that. Will we have to take maybe a player here or there at a certain position? Most likely. So we are much more targeted. We're much more focused. We were taking literally numbers on defense to really right the ship, if you will, relative to our defensive structure last year. We're not going to have to do that. Right now, we're counting 10 out of our 11 players with the most snaps coming back next year. Now, some might say, well, that's not such a great thing. We think it is because you have experience. We didn't have that last year. So that's where we are relative to the portal.
10 out of 11 that played the most defensive snaps coming back. 10 out of 11 that played your most defensive snaps coming back. And this is after Brian Kelly has said they went through and went through all the roster evaluation already, and they had their exit meetings. You got 10 of your 11 coming back. You can start to click off who those names are that would be returning. I mean, Greg Penn, Major Burns, Harold Perkins, Zy Alexander, Sage Ryan, Braden Swinson, Savion Jones. I mean, like, you can start to run through the list of who those guys likely are. You may be in line to be a really veteran team next year that can supplement with good players through the portal. If you're able to do that, it is possible to turn the defense around in a hurry. I'm not saying going from 33 points a game to 13 points a game. But could you go from allowing 33 a game to 23 a game? Do that. How different is the season for LSU? You're not getting ready for the ReliaQuest Bowl, I'll tell you that much. All right, we're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. And you know what, man? When I talk about Relief Windows, sometimes I'll say this flatly. You can go shop price. You want to go shop price? Go shop price. But you know the old adage, you get what you pay for? Relief Windows is not going to be the cheapest. They're not. It can't be. With the quality of product they sell, the level of customer service they deliver, but you know what you're going to get with Relief Windows? Beautiful custom-made windows made exactly for your home. You're going to get a friendly staff. You're going to get people that are on time, that do what they say, that communicate throughout the process. You know that when they install those windows, you're going to get an expert installer at your home doing the job right the first time. And if there's anything at all you're not thrilled with, you do not give them $1 until you are thrilled. That's the experience you get with Relief Windows. Experience, quality service. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. We got Otter Locks coming up to wrap up the show when we come back. So find what Jimmy's got. They're underway there in Champaign, Illinois. Jimmy gave us an early tip with Florida Atlantic laying 2 against Illinois. They are early on in that game, and FAU has an early 5-2 lead. And yes, that might be the only time in the history of this show I've ever given you an in-game of an FAU Illinois basketball score. Such is life, right? All right, it's after further review. Final break. Otter Locks is next. Stay here.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Remember, if you're thinking about selling your home, man, why would you call anyone other than Darren James? There was this 5-star review from Darian D., who said, when I first started looking for a house, I talked with a different realtor, but none of them had the driver motivation that Dakota on Darren's team did. Made my dreams turn into a reality. I highly recommend Dakota Lang as a go-to realtor, part of the team there at Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place, agent225.com, agent225.com. Remember, if you're buying or selling, commercial or residential, if you need a realtor, you need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or online at agent225.com, agent225.com. Call Darren James and start packing. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service, or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best kept secret.
After further review, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, powered by Sunshine. Go get you that John Deere tractor. Ladies, buy that man in your life a sexy tractor. That's what Kenny Chesney said anyway. All right, one thing left to do is find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Outer Locks.
Outer Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Doing awesome. Congrats. Great call last night, Monday Night Football. Cincinnati didn't just cover the 10, outright winner. Thank you very much. Let's keep it rolling tonight. We did give out the first game. What did you like on FAU laying the 2 against Illinois?
Well, Florida Atlantic made that magical run to the Final Four last year and was a bucket away from going to the championship game. And they came out a little bit, underwhelming. And they got beat by Bryant by like 10. They've cranked it up lately. Beat A&M in one of those tournament games. Won all of their games there. Rob Douster and Jeff Goodman from the Field of 68 went that down to a game against Liberty, where they won by 25. And they got that magic going, man. All of those guys did not transfer out, did not hit the transfer portal to bigger programs. Now they're all back. They're deep. They run 10. They run 2 bigs that are basically high major bigs. And they got that little gym rolling, man, down there as well. Now, they're in the big city tonight in New York, but no, I think Florida Atlantic's kind of gotten back to getting after it a little bit like they were last year. Low scoring early on between them and Illinois. So the reasons why I like the Owls there. And, yeah, man, their coach, Dusty May stayed back as well. So you thought they were going to blow it up. Everybody was going to go to bigger and better pastures, but they all stayed, man. That says something about that team that they want to maybe take it a step or two further, at least get to the Final Four. The nightcap after a 30-minute break will be UConn and North Carolina. Now, we had North Carolina last week. They shot the lights out against Tennessee. Now, that was an easy win for us, but, man, UConn has got it going right now. Even in a loss over the weekend, they look really, really good. I'm laying the points here with the Huskies against Carolina.
I am looking for it. Here it is. So I'm looking at DraftKings right now. UConn -6.
Yes.
We like
yes.
that number. Okay, so UConn -6 against North Carolina tonight there in the Jimmy V Classic. So FAU, Illinois, which is right now FAU laying the 2, and then UConn -6. Anything else tonight, Otter?
No, that's it.
man.
I will have some picks on Thursday for the semifinals for the NBA out in Las Vegas. So
okay,
just not prepared enough to give out a play.
No,
a release. So on the NBA. So with the Pels in, this is a great position for this tournament. Ended up Army Navy in the afternoon. You got a horrible game on Thursday night. I mean, the Patriots in Pittsburgh. That's the only thing to compete with. And how about the start times on Thursday too? I'm gonna have to send you that one early. You're gonna have to give that one out at the 3:00 hour on Thursday.
We'll do it. Otter, tomorrow, Wednesday. Where are you?
Modesto.
Very good.
Burbank.
You'll get on by Burbank near campus. Get you a little margarita for lunch. Hang out with the Otter and Hanny. All right, Otter. Good luck tonight. Thank you. We'll talk tomorrow.
All right. Hey, Matt, one other thing. All major books have taken the Heisman off of the board. The only one that's left is up at Rivers -1430. So gives you an indication where that thing is going.
Thank you, Otter. We appreciate it.
All right, see you.
All right, be well. We're brought to you by DraftKings. You want to make those bets, you can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge Muse. As a matter of fact, so I don't run out of time, just hit the disclaimer right now.
21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537.
Hey, remember over at DraftKings, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 NBA bet. As Otter mentioned, play in tournament. Pellies, they're in the semis out in Vegas. Any NBA bet, $5, win or lose, they'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. You want to bet on the college basketball tonight, college bowl season's around the bend, NFL, Thursday Night Football, about 48 hours away. You can bet on all of it at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. DraftKings, the crown is yours. All right, Muse, Casey, appreciate y'all. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, take a quick moment here and remind you about our friends over at Pure Restoration. Online at pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. This is Mold Zero, y'all. Mold Zero has rebranded. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Say it with me out loud. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. The best part is you don't have to remember that really hard website anymore. It's just pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. You want to learn more? Go to the website. About Pure Restoration, all the services. Again, their patented non-toxic dry fog. I tell you about it often. One of the great things about a non-toxic dry fog is it's not going to damage anything in your home. You don't have to move furniture, carpet, or anything out. You just go in, they spray the non-toxic dry fog, they close all the doors. As soon as the fog dissipates, you got a mold-free, clean-smelling home, office, place of business. It's Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Learn more online at pure-restoration.com. Again, that's pure-restoration.com.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.